Ladies and gentlemen, starting off with the forecast because it was, man, God, it was hot yesterday.
Brutal.
I literally had a golf lesson.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed for about 6 minutes and said, we can't be out here. This is ridiculous.
How'd you swing for those 6 minutes?
Wasn't bad.
No?
It worked out. Maybe because it was so hot, my muscles loosened up. Maybe that's what it was.
And a little gooey out there?
A little gooey in the muscle area. So I was like, oh, nice fluid swing there, Tommy.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Not as hot and not as humid today. Still very warm and muggy, though. High of 88 degrees. Tonight, clear, a bit cooler, low of 70. And then on Friday, partial sun, an isolated afternoon shower most of the day. Less humid late, though. High of 86. Then tomorrow, on Saturday, mostly sunny and 77. Sunday, mostly sunny and 80 degrees. Weather looking much, much better after, 88 today is not a little muggy, but it's not going to be anywhere near what it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. It's mostly sunny and 70 degrees right now. So is Lame Brain with us? Or what is she doing?
She was up, and I don't know where she went. So, I don't.
Honest to God.
I don't know. She was up a second ago, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she was gone. So,
do you think that there's an age range where paying attention just isn't part of the deal?
Well, I think we rely on so many other people now to take care of like our shortcomings. Because even with parents, with friends, like I had a friend of mine who put up a new website, and I had to hit him up and go, hey, by the way, you got a little tiny misspelling there on your website. And they were like, thank you for proofreading that. And I said, yeah, no problem. We just rely on so many other people to take care of things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So.
And they never do it.
No, you're right. Oh, it looks like she may be.
Well, she was live for a second there, and then it went back to a still photo.
Yeah. So, it looks like she's in. Let's see if we can bring her
She's a
up.
disaster.
Are you there, Britt?
How do I sound? Be honest.
There you go.
Horrendous.
Terrible, actually. Oh, my God. I mean, the connection's fine, but you yourself sound absolutely terrible.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
The content, garbage.
Yeah, so far it has been. Now you're at the house. You're testing out the new studio, are you?
Yeah, I made a last second switch because I was like, I'll just go in the basement. That'll be great. It's an unfinished basement. Yes, it'll look like I'm in Saw movie, but that's fine.
No,
but then the water heater started making some noise, and I just made a last second switch and moved into a closet. So now I feel like I'm copying Kristyn Burtt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Kristyn Burtt wannabe with less nice clothes.
No, we're talking. So you want to talk a coincidence, an amazing coincidence. So I'm pulling out of my driveway today, and my neighbor John is walking his dog. So he comes over, he goes, hey, I got to ask you a question. I said, yeah, what's that? He's a huge listener. He listens to every minute of every show.
Yeah.
He said, I got to ask you a question yesterday. When you guys were yelling at each other, was that real, or were you in a fight, or what was that all about? And I said, no, it was not real. Yeah, I'm going to tell somebody, none of your goddamn business, and be sincere about it.
This is what's funny, Tom. I don't even remember what he's specifically talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say
how uneventful it was for me.
You're going to have to be more specific,
right,
John, on which argument you were talking about.
Right, exactly.
That's so funny, Tom. Like literally, I'm trying to even ping. I remember laughing so hard. We posted the video of you going, was it a light plane? That's all I really remember from yesterday.
Was it?
We still don't know.
Well, it was a light plane.
Uh-huh.
So tell John it must have if it was real, it wasn't very eventful on
It doesn't matter. It didn't matter to anybody. Yeah, that's very true.
I don't think so.
Like today, though, as a beautiful follow-up to the whole getting pissed off at each other, nobody told me you were staying home today.
Oh, it was with the last second thing. Go was up all night. Yeah,
well,
that's my fault.
Me a text on the way in, or so,
Well, I didn't know. I shot Rudy a text, and then I didn't want to bug you, and then I was like,
okay.
I should have. I almost texted you guys both at like 2 a.m. But then I was like, I didn't. The last thing I'd want is to wake you guys up. So I was like, I was kind of debating, and then I was like, Tom, just because I'm so tired at first, I was like, oh, maybe. And then I was like, no, you know what? You and Amy have both told me to try out my new microphone in case of emergencies, and I was like, all right, today's the day. So it's kind of exciting for me, except I'm in a closet, but I do feel like I'm with you guys.
It sounds fine. You sound good. I mean, for you.
I was going to say, you've never told me that before.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, it's part of the deal right there, but it just, I think having studios in several different places is a good idea because I mean, especially in the winter when it's snowing like a madman, there's just no reason to go into the main studio if you can do it from home.
I need a studio, though, in your condo in Florida. That's what I'm going to
is that where you... Okay, well, okay.
It's going to be my third location.
I'll tell Andy to set it up.
I agree.
We'll be good to go.
It's all about that giant walk-in closet. Sorry, Catherine.
Yeah, right.
You're out.
Hey, I would love to broadcast right next to her clothes.
Catherine, what a piece of work. That's all I'm saying.
She's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us at Carousel Park in front of the grandstand this Saturday, just 2 days from now, 10 to 11 a.m. We'll be joined by legendary broadcaster Don Shelby, along with Brittany, maybe even a few other surprise guests. Maybe Tevlar's going to be there.
Tevin, maybe Reggie from
Reggie's
Must Be
coming.
Rough.
I think that's absolutely true. What I'm trying to do at the fair, because it's going to be such a big audience, is I'm trying to prove just how racist I really am. That's what I'd like to do. Since it's been on the television now for about 20 years, I figured, let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
Tom,
You know what I mean?
don't forget sexist.
Oh, and sexist too, yeah. And homophobe, don't forget that.
And ageist.
Ageist. Yeah, I must
Yeah.
be. I've been called ageist yet. What did I do now with ageism? There's got to be something I did with ageism.
Yeah.
Well, you told me Go-Go was pretty dumb for a 1-year-old.
I did. I don't remember saying that. I've never met Go-Go. That's kind of a tough call since I've never met her.
You just knew by proximity.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's all true. No, I suppose that whole thing about, well, you guys really pissed off. But I suppose if because I know my delivery's a bit different because of where I grew up and all the rest of it. And I suppose if you haven't been, the whole goal where I grew up was to be a smart ass and take shots at people.
It really is funny, Tom, because I'm telling you, like, there are times you and I have been absolutely, gotten mad at each other. But what's nice is, like, usually I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Why do you hate me right now? Or you'll say, hey, Brittany, what's going on with you? Why are you so prickly? So it's like funny because you and I are pretty blunt, especially out there, like if it was a real thing. But like, I can promise you, I'm telling you, I'm trying to think in my brain of anything that's happened in the last 48 hours that I've been, nope, I got nothing. So
you got nothing. There's nothing to. Well, do you think part of that is being in the Army? You had to be verbally tough in the Army, didn't you?
Yeah, I also just know you really well.
Well, yeah,
so
I mean, we've known each other for years. But
I always walk away from things with you and I, even like if you get mad about something else, usually that's something else going on. But like, I always know you and I will be fine. That's why, like, no matter what, I want to walk away being like, whatever endeavor we go on, I just want to make sure I can come to your house or hang out with your family.
No, we're not going to start doing that. No.
Especially Florida in the middle of winter in
Jesus.
Catherine's closet.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, I just want to make sure everything was good, but I do. The studio sounds great. There's no echo or anything like that. That's great.
Oh my God, I'm a professional.
No, somebody else set it up.
Come on.
So,
yeah, come on now.
About that, it's one of those situations.
So talented.
Is Dougie on the horn?
He is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the line, Doug Sprinthal live, and the new GM from Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin, home of my new Ford Mustang, as a matter of fact, online, flagshipford.com. That's flagshipford.com. Dougie, what the hell is with my baseball team? I can't take it. That bullpen is horrendous.
I don't even watch.
I don't blame you.
I texted you last night. You never replied. I'm mad.
I got a few more things to do than just sit around selling cars every 2 seconds.
I was texting you to thank you for talking me into watching Fisk.
I saw that this morning, as a matter of fact. Isn't Fisk wonderful?
Oh, God, the end of the first episode where the guy's doing the penis painting.
Yes. He's painting her portrait with his penis.
Oh, my God. And the line right before that when, the lawyer says, well, he'll work off a photograph. And the woman goes, I prefer sitting.
Honest to God, if you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen, it's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it is.
On Netflix. We still got there's a season 2 and a season 3, but I can't find them anywhere in America. I don't know what the hell happened, but we got to get it. I mean, this Tiffany is just, or Kitty. I'm sorry, it's not Tiffany. It's Kitty Flanagan is her name. That woman. Don't you love the fact that she wears the same outfit every day?
Yeah. Well, the open, when she's got the brown pantsuit on, and she's sitting in the brown chair, and the assistant comes in and sits on her because she doesn't know there's a person there.
Funny.
Like, oh God! And the guy that runs the law office, doesn't he remind you of Murray, the manager from Flight of the Conchords?
Oh God, yes.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's just exactly like him. It's just Australian and New Zealand. I don't know. It's the accent or the humor, just from both rolled together, but. Thanks for turning me on to that. Like you, we're always looking for quirky and unusual stuff to watch.
It's true. When I'm honest to God, one of my favorites with that brown outfit again in that brown chair. There's a quick line, and I don't remember what episode it's in, but somebody walks in and looks and goes, "My God, have you gained a lot of weight?" Yes, I'm as big as a chair now. That's exactly right. It's a great F-I-S-K, Fisk. It's on Netflix. I think, boy, I don't know anybody that wouldn't like it. It's very clever.
Yeah, I like it. So thank you very much.
You horn tootin', not a problem. So what else has happened with you, Pally?
Well, let's talk trucks specifically for a moment. You don't know this because you're not a truck guy, but there are still inventory problems with Ford Super Duties. These are the 250 and the 350s, not the half-ton pickups that are the number one seller. It takes but if you can get an order placed on one, it takes about a year to get one right now. We've got a couple of late model used Super Duties. They went for the truckers out in the audience. We've got a 3/4 ton diesel in 2021. It's only got 20,000 miles on it. And we just bought it. It's kind of sad. It was an estate sale. We bought a 23 gas-powered Super Duty that's only got 2,000 miles on it. That'll be on the lot, I think, tomorrow. And you can see these trucks. And if you have any truck questions at all, just get a hold of me at Doug@flagshipford.com. Or if you don't want to email me, just go to the website and you can check it out yourself.
You know, one thing you're really lucky about, Doug Sprinthal?
Being your friend?
Yeah, oh yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Now, the fact that Brittany is doing she's testing out her new home studio because, like I said, in the winter, there's no reason to drive through a storm to get to work if you can just do it from your house, right?
Well, and it's been a while, but I remember raising little kids, and they always come first.
Oh yeah,
there's no ties, and that's just the way it is.
But you don't have to put up with this. Rudy and I do have to put up with this. We have to stare at a picture of her all day with a big smile on her face, like, I'm happy, Tom and Rudy.
Yeah, she doesn't want to put on the actual, she doesn't want to do the actual video so we can see she's got a rat nest for a haircut this morning.
First off, I always look exactly as disheveled as when I walk into that studio, always. And I was like, even during this break, now I got to figure out how to make the camera work without messing up the microphone. I have 40 things plugged into my MacBook. I'm so stunningly beautiful in the morning that I honestly wanted to ramp you guys into it.
I understand completely. Oh, by the way, and Doug, maybe this is something Jennifer Lawrence has a new movie out. It's good. I wouldn't say it's a great movie by any stretch, but it's very entertaining. She's a hell of a talent, by the way. And the kid that's in it with her, really good acting. And again, I really liked it. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but I think you'll like it. But there's a woman in it who's pregnant. And honest to God, Brittany, she could be your almost twin sister.
Well, I wonder if it's Lake Bell, because there's an actress, Lake Bell, that every time she's in something...
she does look like you. I know who she is. I had never drawn that parallel before, but I think you're right.
Who is that?
Yeah, she was in a movie called In a World, where it was a voiceover movie. And every time she's in something, or when she does a new movie, everybody goes up to me and says, "You look just like Lake Bell." We're both.
Wasn't she in Boston Legal for a few seasons?
She could be. I've never seen that.
I think she was. I think that might have been what broke her with Bill Shatner and all those crazy people.
Yeah, she's. I think the talent. We're both very talented, and I think that kind of
and humble
too.
Humble.
And humble. I mean, it's hard to be this humble when I'm sitting on my closet floor, but I'm still doing it.
Tom, she's up on your screen right now.
Oh yeah, I just popped that whole situation. You're better looking than she is. She looks like your brother.
Oh, well, again, you're lying through your teeth, sir.
No, Rudy, to be totally honest.
Don't
Brittany's
get Rudy involved in this.
I've already said this. I think she's nowhere near as stunning as Lake Bell is. Lake Bell is
okay. Way to support your coworker. Really nice.
Why does it hurt more the second time when you get it?
Look, don't get me wrong. Lake Bill is an attractive woman. That's not what I'm saying. No, but not compared to you.
The son that I bring into your life.
That's exactly what I was thinking right there. All right, Dougie, so when are you coming in again? After the break?
Probably the second Thursday of September. You guys are off that first week, so.
I'm looking forward to it. There's no... I mean, not just being off, but then coming back and seeing you, Dougie. Yeah, no.
It doesn't get any better than that. You get to work with Lake Bell's better-looking doppelganger and me.
And you, too, yes. And you'd be the doppelganger. Who do people say you look like?
Yeah, Doug, that's a great question.
Nobody anymore. A long time ago, when I was in my 20s, I got mistaken for Todd Rundgren quite often. I had long hair like his, and I've got kind of a real rectangular face, and I was considerably skinnier than I am today. But now I just look like my dad.
Oh, well, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think anyway. I've never met your dad, but who knows, right?
Right.
All right, is that going to do it for you, Buster Brown?
That's it. I got to brush my teeth and get in the car and head to Wisconsin.
One hell of a job, I thought. Thanks, Dougie.
See you guys later. Bye.
Doug Sprinthal. We'll be right back right after this.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
We are back. Oh, look who's up here now. You got the... I don't worry about that echo. It's not a big problem. So now you're going to be up live? Anybody with me?
I muted myself. Sorry, that's my bad. Hey, I'm still getting used to this. I'm trying. I got the camera up. I got next commercial break. I'm going to run and get an extension cord. I feel like we're in business.
You're kind of glowy. Is that a yellow light above you or something?
I think it's just because my...
No, it's the light above you.
Oh, there you go.
It's much worse.
Oh, I look great in the morning.
Oh, I look great. Wait, what are you talking about? I look great.
I look amazing.
No, so where are you right now? You're in your closet?
Our guest bedroom's closet.
So that's a good spot. Like I said, it sounds good. There's no echo, nothing like that. So it looks good, sounds good. What the hell?
Yeah, I can start putting on winter clothes or my mom's clothes that she has here. Or, look at this formal dress I could put on.
Oh, you got a formal dress?
Yeah, everything in this closet is like not everyday wear.
Good morning. We got a guest coming in. Oh, you going to put him over there? Yeah. All righty. We're just talking to Brittany. Brittany stayed home today because she decided to be lazy and worthless.
Yeah.
It's one of those kind of situations. It's just how it is. So what's happening? I like that. A handshake and a wink. I just feel like I bought something from Jeff Pfoser.
I didn't know I was on yet, so I was just doing handshake stuff. Not great for radio. Good to see you.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Hey, This has nothing to do with radio, podcast, or anything. It's always been like 37, 38 years now of BS. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, I remember. You've been so kind to have me on multiple times, and
I don't
100%
know how kind.
BS.
You carry me the entire time. That's not being kind.
I got to say that in front of you, right? Wait till we get out in the parking lot. We say different things about you.
It's a different, I understand. So, what, do you get together with people who are deep into their politics? I don't get along with any. It doesn't matter which side we're talking either. I do not get along with people that are really deep into their politics.
No, it doesn't matter for me either.
Calm down, right?
Yeah, Jeff is everybody's hinge.
Really?
Yeah, because so many people and everybody loves you. Like if two people hate each other, I think they can all agree that they both like Jeff Pfoser.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Yeah, and sometimes I can bring them together, but not for long.
No, yeah.
I'm about to give you the biggest compliment I've ever given anyone, ever.
Okay.
Do you act as well?
I've tried in the past. I'm not great at it, but it's something I'd like to do a little bit more.
I mean this is the highest compliment I've ever given anyone. I do. You should play Groucho Marx.
Yeah.
That
Don't
would
you
be
think?
fun.
You would nail that role.
Oh,
man.
well, thanks. Yeah.
Wait, who do we call right now? Let's call somebody. Let's get this movie going.
Well, let's call the president of Hollywood. I know
the president of
Hollywood. I know him quite well. I know I have an in.
Well, I'll tell you, I would never be in a movie with anybody that would cast me as Groucho Marx.
You never do. Yeah. I never think about. He was unbelievable.
He was wonderful.
God, I loved him. That line about the woman with the 11 children that came out in the 1950s. You ever hear this one?
No.
1955, I think it was. This is on live television in like 1955, maybe late 50s, somewhere in the 50s. And he goes, so where are you from? She goes, I'm from Santa Clara. Oh, Santa Clara, beautiful place. So you married? Yes, that's not a great Groucho impression. I do understand that. I do understand that's true. But he said, are you married? She goes, yes, I am. You have a family? Why, yes. As a matter of fact, Groucho, we do have a wonderful family. We have 11 children. And there's this very long pause, and Groucho says, I like my cigar too, but I take it out of my mouth once in a while. In 1955 on live television. He refers to the cigar as her husband's penis, basically.
Oh, what a master.
Oh, he was a master. I don't know, in that particular brand of comedy, that anybody will ever touch what he did.
No, he was great. You're only as old as the women you feel. That was the one I remember.
And he did the thing, by the way. He did
That's
the deal.
right, yeah.
Which let me just tell you something. When he used to come on Johnny Carson with that rainbow knit hat that he was wearing toward the end of his life, it was
fantastic.
It was indeed. So, Jeff, life is good. You're on the road a lot?
I'm trying to stick close to home, but I just loaded up my calendar this year with about 14 shows this fall, and I'll add a few more. But I like to stay close by. I got 4 kids, so
okay.
Mostly Minnesota, a little bit of Wisconsin stuff.
Yeah, both those kids live in Wisconsin, the other 2 in Minnesota. That's what he's talking about.
That's
yes, all over the place. He has 4 kids. He only knows one of them, though.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
He only knows one of them. That's real nice. Honest to God. Well, I understand. If you got a family, you don't want to get too. Age range of the kids is what?
Wow, I got an adult boy, 21 this year.
Wow.
2 teenagers, and then a 9-year-old. Whoops, there he is. He snuck up on us.
You got to stay home then. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. They're fun to hang out with. Yeah, but I've been keeping busy, and we got some really good shows coming up. So,
Jesse the Shrink's Midlife Crisis Show, August 30th, House of Comedy. Great idea. I love the fact that Minnesota is still known as one of the greatest sources of comedy in America, if not the world. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Is it an education level thing? Because Minnesotans tend to be, and Midwesterners tend to be very highly educated in general.
Well, that might be part of it. I think there's just such a mix of different people, such a variety here that, and that's such a huge piece of entertainment that spans a large spectrum of opinions and styles that we gravitate towards that. I'm a sucker for variety shows and all kinds of different things, and comedy has all of that boiled into it. It's something interesting about this Midlife Crisis Show. I didn't even know it was called that until after I agreed to it. And then I saw the poster, and I was like, oh, really? You're going to put me on this show with all these older... I don't know what's going on here.
I was going to say, you don't look midlife crisis-y.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
I got to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I feel it, but thank you. I try and take good care of myself.
So where'd you grow up?
Here in the Twin Cities. I'm a St. Paul boy.
St.
Still
Paul?
live there. Yeah.
Where in St. Paul?
Grew up kind of in the Highland Village area. I'm in the northeast corner now on the edge of Maplewood.
Still one of the 2 great delis in the state of Minnesota.
Cecil's.
Cecil's.
Oh, my goodness. I had a Reuben there last week, I think.
Did you really?
Oh, boy. Tell me. That place is magic.
I love that place.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I love it so much, you will find older Jewish men looking at the menu, and every one of them cannot decide what they want.
Jeff's one of them.
Yeah, one of the older Jewish men, exactly. But they look at the menu, and they smack in their lips, and all of a sudden they go, "Oi, Gewalt," which I just love.
Yeah.
See, I grew up in North Minneapolis, a very Jewish black and Catholic neighborhood back in those days.
Yeah.
And Plitman's Deli was heaven to us.
My.
We go to the deli. As a matter of fact, very quickly, and these guys on the show have heard this before, but I'm a very young boy, 5, 6, 7 years old. I walk into Plitman's Deli, and I get a roast beef sandwich. And the guy says, "What would you like with your roast beef sandwich?" And I said, "How about a glass of milk in a deli?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, goyish nachas." And I went, "Okay, works for me." That means Gentile pleasures is what that means.
Oh.
Gentile pleasures. A little Gentile came in and ordered milk with meat.
Oh, boy. Well, it reminds me of ordering big slabs of meat in the smokehouse down in Austin, Texas.
Oh, God.
And somebody next to me asked for sauce, and they, just shoot them away. And then I said, "Do you have a fork or any utensils?" And they were like, "They're on the ends of your hands, man." So no sauce, you just eat. You just shove that meat in your face, man, with your hands.
I was telling these guys when I was in Kansas City doing shows, we stopped off. We've talked about this before. The name of that place in Kansas City where they just sit and scream at you the whole time when you order. Remember that?
You're talking about Arthur Bryant's?
Not Arthur Bryant's. It was I'm spacing on the name.
Kansas City?
Kansas City, yep. And it's right across the street from the Comedy Club of Kansas City. We walked in, and I just heard these people saying, "Oh, we got to get Bernays. I got to get Bernays." And I know nothing about barbecue, so I walked up to the counter and I was like, "I'll take a order of Bernays." And the lady's like, "What?" I said, Bernays. She goes, "What the hell is Bernays?" I'm like, I said, "Ma'am, I'll be honest, I'm just ordering what the people in front of me ordered." And she slams her hand on the counter and she goes, "Mother effer, do you mean burnt ends?" And I was like,
Burnt ends,
burnt
baby.
ends.
Oh.
I meant burnt ends. And I swear to God, she goes, "Too late, pork sandwich, next."
Really?
Yep. They gave me a pork sandwich. Couldn't get burnt ends because I messed it up.
Oh, wow. And I bet it was amazing.
The best and they kicked us out, so they made us sit out in the parking lot. They wouldn't let us sit because I was such an idiot. So there's 4 comedians, just eating messy barbecue pork sandwiches out in the parking lot, and it was one of the best meals I've ever had.
Yeah, the Fox Theater's still in Kansas City.
I don't know. That's a good question.
It used to be for years. One of my favorite stories about Kansas City has to do with Kevin Meaney, whom I do miss, by the way. He could be a very odd man, but he also, when you had him in studio, he worked very hard. He was very funny. We happened to have him in studio the day that Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested.
Oh, boy.
And they talked about going through the apartment and finding all these body parts and all the rest of it. And Kevin Meaney's sitting there live on the air. He's in studio. And he goes, "Tom, can you imagine being the janitor or maybe the guy who rented it out, the apartment to him? You open the door, you look in and you go, all this carpet's got to go." So Kevin, a couple of weeks later, he's on the road. He's in Kansas City, and he's on the phone with me. He's in the car. Excuse me. He's in the car, and he said, "Tommy, I'm going by the theater. I've never seen my name on a marquee before. This is going to be so exciting. And I want to do it live on the air because it's the first time I'm going to ever see it live, my name up on a real theater marquee." Yeah. And all of a sudden he goes, "Son of a bitch," just like that. I said, "Uh-oh, what happened?" This is Kevin Meaney I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. There's a pause, and he said, "You know what it says up on the marquee?" I said, "What?" "Welcome, Kelly Mealy."
Oh, my gosh.
Do you get that once in a while?
All the time. I see my name spelled Povich. I saw Rudy with an I one time. I've seen Randy Povich was up on a poster once. I'm like, all right, just fine, whatever.
Have you gotten a Ruby yet?
I haven't gotten Ruby yet.
Ruby.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull it up. But there is audio of a local comedian who has known me for like 5 years. You know him, Jeff. His name is Ira Ford.
Yeah, I know.
Ira famously screws up everybody's names. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
yes, he does.
Famously, and he doesn't do it on purpose. I was in Los Angeles, and I had met Matthew Broussard, very funny guy, great comedian, and he said, man, I was just at Acme like 4 months ago, and the guy who brought me up on stage, I told him my name like 6 times, and he butchered it, and I said, Ira Ford, and he goes, yes! How did you know? And I'm like, because he does it all the time. That's his M.O. He screws up everybody's name.
I got a Fred Pfoser one time.
Fred Pfoser.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Not
Fred
Jeff
Pfoser.
Pfoser. Fred Pfoser. Yeah.
There's no question. Fred Pfoser. I'm just telling you that's what. I don't understand people, first of all. Now, these are people that knew you were coming, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you check to make sure you got their name right? Like when I get these sheets, I look, I make sure I have the pronunciation correct. I do all the stuff. You don't just, here, he's on now. Let me grab this. Well, Bill Flanagan.
It's
no,
because
wait
you
a minute.
care. It's because you care,
Yeah,
Tom.
Tom, you've always looked at that as like a big sign of respect or disrespect.
Ah,
Like, when
that's
I
true,
worked
yes.
with you, yeah, I mean, you treat that as like the biggest deal. But I don't know if people are on that the same as you do.
Not the same deal.
No, I don't think so. Because it's like, I mean, I think especially now with the internet too, you just have you try to look up pronunciations. You have no idea. You're running around crazy. And yeah, but I feel like, honestly, Poser's not a bad last name, Jeff. I think you should stick with that one.
Instead of Pfoser, go with Poser.
Just drop the F. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
why not?
I'm going to drop the F in a minute. Thank you very much.
Hey-o.
Hey.
Tom Brainerd, I get once in a while.
Yep,
Hey,
yep.
Tom
Yeah.
Brainerd, how you doing?
I've heard Barnyard.
Barnyard. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm on the Tim Barnyard show, folks. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, here you go. Here's Ira Ford. Now remember, I've known this guy for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I have had he's brought me up on stage many times. This is him because he's such a pothead. This is him butchering my name.
All right, we got a special guest in the building. Please give it up for Randy Povich.
Randy Pavin. Yes, the very famous Randy Pavin, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Was he that high?
Oh, he's high all the time. Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yeah, and listen, he sells T-shirts that basically say "I'm high all the time," so I don't mind disclosing it over the air.
It's
It's
a
fine.
good merch game.
Yeah.
Strong merch game.
Yeah.
Honest to God. Jeff, I always ask people, is there one thing that inspired you to get into comedy?
Yeah, actually, it was Acme about 14 years ago. Somebody dragged me to the open mic. I didn't even know the place existed.
Are you sure?
And then just be sitting in a room full of people laughing. I went home and started writing. I didn't even know I had all that in my head. But, also I grew up with, Groucho. I loved, the variety shows like Carol Burnett. I was a sucker for, the Dick Van Dyke Show and just anything where people were fun and funny and they could do all the things. We can dance, we can sing, we'll make you laugh, and we're sweet. And I just thought that was the best. And when I saw people here locally getting up on stage and doing whatever they wanted to do just to see what stuck, I got hooked, man. And it's been a fun ride ever since. And then I get to meet cool cats like Randy Povin.
Randy Plogman.
Thanks, Fred.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, how you doing? Fred and Barney with us this morning, ladies and gentlemen. No, I mean, that's great to hear. It was a great experience. Yeah, I suppose had you seen live comedy before that day?
Yeah, I think maybe my first live comedy show was 12 years old, Louis Anderson.
Oh, Louis.
Yeah,
How
at the
did I know
Guthrie.
it was Louis?
Oh, my gosh.
Louis.
I had friends that brought me there, and I was floored. And then maybe not again until early 20s. I saw Stephen Wright in St. Paul,
God.
probably at the Fitzgerald.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, blew my mind. I had no idea this was even an option. I just thought that was a level of entertainment that was for other people.
Yeah.
And it's fun that I fell into it. So
I think it's great.
Did you say that you saw Louis Anderson at the Guthrie?
does that sound right?
Yeah, because that was where he did
it
that
was years
special
ago.
at, and that is such an iconic man.
Yeah.
It's to see people, they are falling out of their chairs. They are laughing so hard at that special.
I'll quote him almost every day
Yeah.
with other friends that just love that special too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really something. And I got to bring my folks to see him, a few years ago, which was nice because they hadn't been out to see Louis, and they got to meet him, and I was super excited to introduce them. And he was just a kind and loving fella. And the best on stage. I brought him to the old joke joint in Lilydale.
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely.
And he got up on stage, and the first thing he said was, it was so nice out today. I almost took a walk.
Louis. I love Louis.
Yeah, and then it was just brilliant even from then on. Yeah.
One of the great, I guess, decades or couple of decades of my life, my mother and Louis Anderson became really good friends.
Cool.
And to watch Louis just suck up to my mother, he adored my mother. My mother adored him.
Yeah.
She had statues I grew up Catholic, had little statues of angels and Louis Anderson.
Oh, wow.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
You put Louis' statue, remember the little bobblehead they made of Louis?
Yeah.
It's right there, and all the angels and then Louis bobbing his head.
So
it was just a
fun.
wonderful. But those two, my God. To have, this is a good point in having you on. It's a good spot here to bring up the fact that I missed it so much during COVID. My whole career at KQR was built on having comedians in.
Yeah.
It's what blew the show sky high. And for 2-3 years, about 3 years for sure, you just couldn't do it. Nobody would come in. Yeah. Everybody, you can't have people in. You got to blah, 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 blah.
How did you fill that? How did you fill that spot?
Just with
just
crabbiness.
in your life.
Crabbiness. I just got crabby as hell. It was, God damn it. I like to laugh. I like to be around very funny people. Yeah. My family was very funny because of a lot of struggle, very, very poor. So what we always turned, every weekend, my family would get together at my mother's house, and they would either, play the piano and sing or tell jokes or do whatever. I mean, what we're doing right now is what my family did for entertainment on weekends. Hey, what was this all about? Did you hear about this? Yeah. Hey, let's, tell some jokes. Let's do whatever. I hated not having comedians come into the studio. And it's not just being on the air either. And that's great, too, don't get me wrong. But being in studio like you are now is huge.
Yeah.
Because the reaction, person to person. For me, comedy, having you guys on stage and you women on stage, making eye contact with everybody, I don't know that people realize how important that really is. Because there are some comedians that tend to look over people's heads like this. They look over their head instead of making. That's a mistake, man.
I'm very aware of that too. I really like to look in people's faces because I need to know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Early on, that wasn't. I mean, I couldn't do it because I was so in my head and I wanted to be so scripted. And you're so nervous up. I mean, it's still a scary thing, but the gag is you pretend like everything's cool and everything's fine, and you're okay with this. And so, for the most part, it is. But I couldn't look at people because I wouldn't know how to, there was no improv muscle in me built yet. Mm-hmm. And it is important. Yeah.
That's a good way to bring it up, that improv muscle. A lot of people, I would say most people who think they can do improv cannot do improv.
I agree with that.
That is absolutely true. And that's what you're talking about. There is that, we can call it a muscle. Some people have that muscle, and most people don't. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
And there's a lot of comedians, too, that are amazing stand-ups, incredible stand-ups. Yep. And the second somebody from the crowd throws their rhythm off and says something, they tank. Yeah. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's tough.
They have to segue back into the act because they don't have that improv muscle because it's so two wildly different art forms.
Yeah, well, and we all have it because we're talking, and and there's a yes, and you say the next thing. Mm-hmm. And our buddy Ryan Call this week at the Acme open mic, he came up to me. He's always running bits with me, and he goes, "Ask me if I do improv." I go, "Do you do improv?" He goes, "No."
We'll see. Now that
opposite of yes and nice work.
See, that's how life should be all the time. There's no question about it. But I do hope. Because you guys are going through some stuff, and by guys, I mean all comedians, where, that's not funny. Oh, this is not funny. I mean, Queen just got nailed for releasing Fat Bottom Girls about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Can we calm down a little?
Yeah.
I think they missed the reference there, by the way, too, because I don't think it was a fat bottom girl they were talking about.
Sure.
Pay attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shut up. But yeah, you people went through a lot because that's not funny anymore. This is not funny. What'd you say that for? It's like, oh, God. Why? Because you can't do it? Now you have to criticize everybody else who can be funny?
Right.
Is that what that was all about, you think?
Not sure. I mean, but we can say whatever we want. We just have to be, each individual has to be ready for dealing with how everybody reacts to it. And I don't like feeling awful about people feeling awful.
Right.
So, I tend to shift my, plus, I don't get in, personally, I don't get into too much trouble just telling dumb stories about my kids and my family and whatever
Which
observational
I love,
stuff I can find here and there.
You get in more trouble with the family than you do anybody else.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because I have to go back home and I live with them.
That's going to be a problem. I'm sorry. We can't have it. We just can't have it. There's no question.
Jeff, I got to ask you, because everyone I know who had like a whoopsie child who's like, staggered off a little bit, that kid is always the funniest kid. Is your 9-year-old just hilarious?
You know what? He is, but all of my kids are very funny in different ways. But he is pretty funny. And I was 7 years later after my older brother and sister, just kind of, last, third / only child. So they tend to just, I guess we tend to just try and find the fun and absurdity and everything. And he's a little clown. So yes, is the answer to that. Yeah.
Do you think like you as a parent, like when you have a kid like way later, is it necessarily easier, or are you finding that you're just not taking it as like intense? Because like I have a 1-year-old and we have their only child right now, and I feel like everything is intense. Like that's why I'm here, because she was up all night. But like when it's a little bit later, do you feel like you're a little bit calmer, or the way that you react to parenting?
Absolutely, and mostly it's because I'm exhausted. And I'm sure you are too, but just in a different way. And
totally.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see. She usually sits in that chair you're in. And I look over every day. And it's like,
okay, that's never happened.
It has too. It's constant, and it's this deal. So you might want to cover that yapper when you yawn.
I yawn. I do yawn.
Oh, you yawn a lot.
But my personality is not dozing off. I like never doze off. He wishes I would fall asleep. I'm usually like, I'm tired, but I'm just crazy instead.
I love it.
That's true. She is crazy. You can't even argue that point.
Yep.
If you know what I mean.
They're going to put padded walls in this one.
I'm not going to spend any more time on it, but I do have to ask, because I've asked these guys many times and our listeners as well. Do you think in today's world, Richard Pryor would have been given the chance to break?
Wow. Great question.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think it would have been tough.
It would have been very,
I think we would have had a little
tough.
Underground, fan club that had to almost be half secret about, enjoying what he was doing. But yeah, he was solid. Darn it. Yeah, that's tricky.
I told his daughter and his son, because they used to come on the morning show all the time over KQ and talk to those guys, and I said, I'm still pissed off at your father for releasing a bunch of albums that I can't say the name of. Like, I'd like to buy that new album, that.
Yeah, that's right.
That, something about being crazy. I know. It's like,
Tom, I'm glad you didn't say a bunch of albums I can't say the name of on air.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, behind the scenes, that's all I ever do.
Was he yelling in the car in the parking lot?
I mean, that Big N is crazy. Super Big N.
Yep.
You go down the list. Like, thanks, Richard.
Yeah.
Say, do you have a copy back behind the counter there of... Yeah, no, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, 15 years old. I might have been a little older by then, maybe like 19, something like that. And Richard just released a new album. And I went to Music City, which 7th and Hennepin back in those days, right?
Yep.
And I'm in there looking for it, his new album. And there are all these, like 2 or 3 young black women in there. I had black girls probably. They were probably 16, 17 years old.
Sure.
And one of them goes, oh, my God. And the other one goes, what? What's the matter? She goes, you know who Grace Slick is? You ever heard of Grace Slick?
No.
She was a singer. You guys know who Grace Slick is?
I know the name.
You got to look up her picture, because this next thing that she said was hilarious. Grace Slick was a very, very, very black woman. Yeah. I mean, maybe one of the blackest people I've ever seen, right? she holds up the album cover. We had album covers back in those days. And says, "Look at this girl. She's purple." And the other one goes, "Seriously purple."
Wow.
I miss those days. Can't even go to the record store anymore either.
No.
So my life is over. That's all I'm saying.
Getting back to like the guys like Pryor, if they would have been able to make it today.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that regardless of the vehicle to get you to the top, talent will always find a way to shine.
Yeah.
And I've said this before about they always do these stories with the gal from American Idol. What was her name? The blonde gal who does the Sunday night. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. The football.
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood. So they say, oh, Carrie Underwood was this waitress at a diner in the middle of Oklahoma, and if it wasn't for American Idol, she would have never been found. I find that to be BS. If American Idol didn't exist, we would still have Carrie Underwood. And even though there's this whole group of people that think that Richard Pryor couldn't make it nowadays, I guarantee that there are enough people on this planet that would find that guy and go, this guy, he needs to be shared. He needs to be listened to. They would find a way, because right now there are guys like Chappelle, Bill Burr,
right.
Shane Gillis, guys like that that are just pushing the envelope every time they get on stage. And I imagine that Pryor would have, regardless of what the social media landscape is, he would have found a way and people would have put him up on a pedestal because he is that talented.
That's a good take. That's tricky to argue with.
Yeah,
that's a great way to think about that. Because you and I both see other folks just working out material at open mics, and some of it I kind of turn my head sideways at a little bit, but then the crowd is in tears about it, and I go, well, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you have the chops, people, and it's funny enough, people jump on board.
Absolutely.
That's neat.
But Chappelle did go through it. I mean, Chappelle's brilliant. There's no doubt about it. And he went through it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would like to do something like that about him. I just, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I still love the fact that when he got his reparations check, he bought a semi full of cool cigarettes. I just love that so much about Chappelle. I can't even tell you. He's good. Driving up with the semi. All right, we got to take a break. You can stick around for a while, I hope.
Yeah, we got some time if you'll have me.
No. Get out.
What a jerk.
Not having any fun at all, damn it.
Thanks, Tom.
On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary, with over 80 million MyPillow sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98. Yeah, started at $69.98, now it's $19.98. What do you think of that action? Just $10 more for king size, by the way. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you'll also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. We'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In '98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say, we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Pfoser in studio. Jesse the Shrink's Midlife Crisis Show, August 30th at the House of Comedy. 7:30 is the time. houseofcomedy.net for tickets. That's houseofcomedy.net. Jeff Pfoser on the 30th of August at the House Comedy. Great having you in studio.
Thank you.
You made my day. I'm telling you, can ask everybody I work with. If comedians are around, I'm in a much better mood.
Yeah.
I just am. I always loved it.
Yeah, well, you seem pleasant now. So
Look at Brittany. She's going, that's absolutely right. You're a much bigger prick when there aren't comedians. Oh, look at now. Kristyn's doing it, too.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I co-sign on that, too.
Women are turning on me.
Great. Well, I'll be back tomorrow then.
Yeah, come on back tomorrow.
Please.
How's your next week look, too?
Yeah, I'm available.
Oh, is that how it's going to be the rest of the day, huh? Okay. Don't worry about Uncle Tommy, In any case, Kristyn Burtt now joins us. Boy, a lot of people have been reaching out to me about Fisk. They're watching them. I still am pissed off. I cannot find the second and third seasons of Fisk anywhere, and I don't know where to look. When are they going to bring them back? Because they were on Netflix, I guess, but they're not anymore. That's what I've been told.
I'm going to hunt it down for you. I'm going to write myself a note, and I'll hunt it down for you, see what we can do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But saw Jennifer Lawrence's new movie last night. It wasn't great, but it was very entertaining. She's a hell of a talent.
She's great. And, you know, it's not every actress could have pulled off No Hard Feelings the way she did.
No way. You're right about that, especially with that young kid.
Yeah, because it's one of those. It's an awkward topic, but she's so funny in it. Honestly,
Yes,
her physical comedy is really good in it, and she never takes herself too seriously. And I think that's why it works.
You know what's amazing about her, and she I think does it on purpose. In some shots, she looks stunningly beautiful, and other shots, she looks like a complete goofball. And I think she does that on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the part of comedy, too, that works for her as an actress. And what I love about her is that she can cross both genres. I mean, she does drama just as seamlessly as she does comedy. But I think that if you get too caught up in, how pretty you're going to look in every moment, it's never going to work, especially for comedy.
Do you think I like her so much because she reminds me a lot of my wife's sense of humor?
I would think so. She's a strong female. You love a good, strong female.
I do love good, strong females. I miss my mother. My mother's birthday is tomorrow. I just looked at it when you were talking about the good, strong women in my life. My mother was the prime example of that. Her birthday she'd have been $103 tomorrow.
Mm. Wow.
Jesus. I wish you would have met Toots. You should have all met Toots. She was the greatest. She was named Toots because her real name was Theophila, and being called the love of God on a daily basis probably weighed a little heavy.
Yes.
I mean, that's a very important name. Your name is Theophila, the love of God? Really? Okay. But in any case, so I thought that movie was good. The kid was terrific. Rosenbaum or Rosenblum, I think his name was. Can't remember his last name, but he was really good.
Yeah. I was going to say I'll look it up for you because I'm like, I don't even remember his name, but he's really good. And, they did a lot of the press junket together and they were really funny. They played off of each other really well. So you could tell that they had great chemistry.
Kristyn, I was just talking to Jeff Pfoser about the fact that through 2-3 years, there were 3 years that no comedians came. Well, nobody came in studio. So I didn't see comedians for a few years. My entire career in morning radio was built on having comedians in comedy. It's a big part of it. And the only way I got through that whole deal was streaming because you just didn't see comedy anywhere. Not a lot of people on tour, all the rest of it. So I really jumped into streaming heavily. And there's a lot of good stuff out there. There is.
Andrew Barth Feldman.
Barth Feldman. That's exactly who it is. The kid's really good in that movie. A hell of a talent. But she wrote it, produced it, the whole deal, and she doesn't jam herself in there too much. just about the right amount, and she kills it every time. Really terrific.
Well, that's why she has an Oscar.
That's right. Oh, that's an Oscar winner. Big shot.
It is an Oscar winner.
I know.
She's the one who fell on the way up to the stage in her like big ball gown.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and people were like, that was so staged. I'm like, trust me, nobody wants to fall in their big ball gown on the way to collecting their Oscar.
I suppose that is true. I would imagine that's probably right. Now, I do have to ask everybody, because I have not seen it yet, and I really want to see this movie, but I'm wondering, oh my God, is this too heavy for me? The Sound of Freedom. Oh, everybody's like, oh.
I was like, oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, that's been pretty controversial.
Yeah,
it's a pretty controversial because some of the funding comes from people who have ties. Some, not all. Some of the ties come from QAnon supporters. So, and they have adopted child trafficking, human trafficking as one of their sort of topics, issues, which is extremely important. And it doesn't matter what you believe, everyone should be concerned about it. But I think what happened is that you have some of the producers on it, including Jim Caviezel, who are pretty strong in their beliefs, doing some sometimes inflammatory interviews. I think that's what causes a lot of the issues. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's not have sex with children. What do you say?
Oh, let's not. And, let's not kidnap them and do horrific things. What's most interesting to me about Sound of Freedom, though, is what they're doing. They're asking you to pay it forward. And at the end, they do kind of a call to action. And it's not like, hey, put money towards this charity. We're asking you to buy a ticket to somebody else, for somebody else to go and see the movie so we can get the message across. And so what was happening in a lot of theaters is that maybe like a church or a charity group would buy out a theater and they would give away the tickets on Instagram or on social media, but not everyone would show up. So the show would be sold out and there'd be, say, 30 people in a 200-person seat theater. And people are saying, are they cooking the box office? So that's been a real kind of issue. Like, are you counting bodies in the seats or are you just counting tickets sold? And currently the model is tickets sold. So you can technically buy out a theater and make the box office look a little bit better than it actually is.
So how does a movie about saving children from bad guys, how is it bad? I mean, I don't know enough about the movie to have an opinion on it yet.
It's because the people associated with are associates, not all, but some of them are associated with QAnon.
I mean, some of the people in the movie?
Yeah, Jim Caviezel's a big QAnon believer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what is actually, I don't even know what QAnon, I know kind of what they are, but what is the deal?
I mean, I think some people consider it a cult. A lot of it started during the anti-vax movement during the pandemic. And it's tough because it's a movie that really talks about a difficult topic in a way that needs to be seen. A lot of people, no matter what they believe, have been very moved by it. But it just gets complicated, as it always does, with all the politics sort of creeping into everything that we do.
Could we ever let that go? We're never going to let that go, are we? The politics
No, that's not.
thing.
Those days are done. Honestly, we can't go back.
You know what I did
would
this
like
morning?
us to go back.
Yeah, I would too.
They won't. Social media, politicians, none of us will. They won't allow us to go back. It's at all.
I did not watch the debate last night because I have no interest in watching debates anyway. But I got up this morning and I saw Channel 5's coverage of the little readouts they do. They do a red line for the Republicans, and they do I think a yellow line for the moderates, and then they do the blue line or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Yeah. And the thing goes up and down, and really. I mean, basically, I know which words trigger. I could sit there and look at the screen and say, if I said this word, those lines, the red one would go up and the blue one would go down. I mean, why do they even bother with that? I don't get that. You know what I mean? Very, very extreme views by both parties right now. I don't really understand why they think that's good for America, but can we meet anywhere near the middle? Is that ever going to happen?
Not possible.
No.
It's just not going to happen, is it?
No, it's sad that it's not. I mean, I would love to see moderate candidates like come out front and center and try to unite people.
Wouldn't it be
but
nice?
I don't think that it's not what the networks want, because it doesn't draw eyeballs and things like that. There's a lot of money to be made in all of this. And you know, it's even Donald Trump last night. He didn't want to stay away from being on TV, and he did his interview with Tucker Carlson on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. So everybody has their PR strategy and game plan in this.
Well, that was kind of funny too, because I predicted, we had a friend over, and before we turned it on, just to see, because it was over, just see, you know, what had happened here, there, and everything. And he said, "What do you think they're going to say?" And I said, "You're going to get a lot of coverage because it was on Fox, first of all, and they tend to be the conservative, whatever the hell they are." And I said, "What? That's going to be there." And he goes, "Well, how do you think that CNN's going to handle it?" I said, "They won't even talk about it. They'll be talking about Trump getting arrested, because he gets arrested today." And we tuned in, and that's exactly what they were doing. We talked about this, as a matter of fact. Jeff's in studio with Jeff Pfoser, in studio with us, Kristyn Burtt, calling in from Los Angeles. But it's so predictable now that we're going to give you as much anxiety as we possibly can, so you never tune out.
Well, yeah. And I mean, listen, Donald Trump making sure to turn himself in today on Thursday is also a strategy.
Absolutely.
He chose not to go to the Republican debate.
Right.
And he knows how to, you know, grab his fan base, his voter base, and make sure that they rally for support around him on the day after the debate, which should be the news day about the debate. So
yeah, I don't know.
Everything is one big PR strategy. I see right through it coming from Hollywood, because everyone has a plan, everyone has a strategy.
But you could predict them. That's what I don't think I've ever watched a debate in my life, because you can predict what they're going to say anyway. Right?
Yeah, it's like celebrities do pap walks, paparazzi walks, where they call a paparazzi and they're either promoting a product, or they're just like showing their hand, like, I am married, or nope, I'm not wearing my wedding ring. We have broken up. The royal family does it. The politicians do it. It is so transparent, and especially the way people use social media these days, it's wild. You know, just put up a cryptic quote about something in your Instagram story and everyone's going to run and cover it.
I suppose that's true. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I watched the prequel to the debate on both Fox and CNN, because I don't watch them very much anymore. And I could tell you word for word what both of them were going to say. And they did. It's, this is the most wonderful thing of all time. And my God, our people are so strong and they're so brilliant. My God, you turn the channel, it's like, these are the most evil human beings ever born. It's like, would you settle down?
You know what's wild, Tom, is that CNN is going to Max. They are starting a CNN Max channel, 24/7 of breaking news.
So what are they going to do with CNN? Because do people watch? I have heard that Fox and CNN's numbers are way down. You guys heard the same thing?
A lot of us have cut the cord and don't have cable. So
really?
This is a way for me to have access to CNN. I have access to CNN, obviously, online, but I don't have access to the channel because I haven't had cable in 12 years.
You know, what's also hilarious is you go into the underling channels. You know, like there's like a Newsmax for the conservatives, and there's the, I don't know, whatever the hell they are, MSNBC, that kind of deal. As you go lower down the ladder, it gets more and more severe and worse, because please watch us. We're going to do something really stupid and say something really outrageous, because you got to please watch our show too. Like,
MSNBC has been begging for ratings for 20 years.
They beg for ratings.
Yeah, they're like carnival barking out there.
They are. It's just like, God. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, don't listen to that. I mean, you watch the local news. They'll give you the best take you're going to get out of it. The national news is a complete waste of time, in my view. I agree.
Associated Press is probably the best non-biased. Reuters as well. Like,
that'd be nice.
To get the facts. Get the facts, and then you make your own judgment call on how you feel about the situation.
I guess so. So nobody, like I said, I haven't met one person so far from last night to this morning that watched the debates last night. Not one.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were going on, to be honest. I mean, I'd heard rumblings of it, but I was like, I have no interest in that debate. I mean, obviously, when it gets a little closer to it, you know, the next 16 months, maybe I'll watch. But a Republican debate when we're still how many months away? I mean, is it 19 months or 18 months? I don't know. It's so far out.
Well, they'd have another one, the Democratic one, but they're not going to debate because they're going to run their guy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be doing the same damn thing.
Yeah.
No, you can't just pin one thing on either the Democrats or the Republicans. They all do the same bullshit. It's just with a different angle. It's the same scammy crap it's always been. Ugh, I hate politicians. I got to be honest with you.
Jeff,
we know you do.
Jeff, you look like the candidate for the party, if you ask me.
Party.
The party. Yep.
I'm all party. Hair and all.
Yeah, Jeff walked in today. I was like, look at you wearing jeans and a button-up shirt. Like, yeah, all ready to rock, man.
All dolled up.
Yeah, and there's snap buttons, too, just in case it needs to come off real fast.
Oh, yeah. Show that
the
S on your
viral
chest.
moment that's going to come in the show.
The big P on there for party.
There you go.
Yeah.
By viral, you talking about disease now, are you there, Kristyn?
No.
Good. I'm glad to hear
Big
that.
viral moment.
It's a big, I got a cough now.
I'm safely in my closet, as is Britt. So
yeah, but you're both in the closet right now. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It all works on the end. All right, so what else is in the news this morning? Anything good?
Well, I just wanted to point out, just going back to Sound of Freedom, Sunday, by the way, is National Cinema Day, and all movies, no matter what you want to see, Barbie, Oppenheimer, anything, Sound of Freedom, $4 all day.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, they did it last year. It was $3 last year, by the way, so they got us by an extra $1. But and new run movies, anything that's coming out this weekend too, like Gran Turismo or anything, you can get for $4 all day on Sunday. So if this is your opportunity for anything you missed this summer, to go and watch it for a very affordable price.
I want to go to the movie theater, but there's nothing in the movie theaters.
There's Barbie.
I'm not going to go see Barbie, for Christ's sake.
Yes, you are.
Come on, Tom.
No way I'm going to go see Barbie. Look, let me just be honest. The reason I'm not going to go see Barbie is when I was a very young kid, like a teenager, she'd call me all the time and bother me. And, hey, can we go out sometime?
Yeah.
Like, no, Barbie, let it go. Just let it go.
You know
I
what?
just want you to get some Kenergy.
Energy.
Yeah. You beat me to it. I have an extra $4, Tom. What are you doing on Sunday?
Yeah, you and I will go to the movies.
Yeah,
We'll go to the movies. $4.
Like a mandate to Barbie.
What would be in Barbie that I'd possibly care about?
Ryan Gosling's really good.
Or
I
is
think
he?
you'd laugh. I think there'd be some parts you'd laugh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it is funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
It just kind of reminds me of Goonies, where there's like all these amazing parts to the movie, but if you sum it all up together, you're like, it's an okay movie. Barbie is like that. All these great scenes and great moments, but when you put it all together, the puzzle just doesn't really look that clear. The plot's all over the place.
Rudy and I still have the question: if you die in Barbie Land, do you die in real life? Like, I think we got a little too
meta.
Got too into the plot, and then if you take a step back, we were like, this movie's fun and great. But I also feel like it's a whole energy. And Tom, I know you have some pink shirts. I've seen.
Can I stand up in the middle of the movie? If I go to the movie, can I stand up in the middle and go, do you have any clothes that aren't pink?
Yeah.
Please.
You can.
Doesn't she dress in pink every single day?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought. See, I'm sorry.
No, well, the classic Barbie is actually black and white. That was her original outfit. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so if you ever see Mattel, when they show the classic Barbie, there's a classic Barbie symbol. She's got the ponytail. It's a profile. That's always in black and white. Pink kind of was added later on to the mix.
So the movie's doing well. I don't. So you say it's funny. The movie's funny.
It's funny, and it's kind of like two movies in one. I think that's what it is. There's like the setup in the Barbie world, and then when she goes out to the real world, that's kind of like the second part of the movie. And then they kind of try and tie them together with this message.
Did Catherine
And I think that's where.
What?
Tom, did Catherine see it?
I don't think so. Maybe she did. If she did, she didn't tell me about it. I don't think she did, though.
Yeah, because you should take her, because I could see her, enjoying it, and then you guys having a little laugh here and there.
What are you trying to ruin my week? Is that what you're doing now?
I'm trying to plan your week. I'm actually hanging out with you on Saturday with Catherine as well. So it just,
oh, God.
I got an extra $8.
At the
Yeah.
state.
Oh,
I didn't hear that one. What?
I got an extra $8. I'm going to bring the two of you. If I can sit between you two at Barbie, oh my goodness, this is great.
Between Catherine and me?
Yes.
It's probably a good idea. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I'd have to.
It's probably a good idea.
Just one bucket of popcorn on my lap.
Yep.
Oh, I love the bucket of popcorn. That's the one thing about going to the movie theaters. My God, I love movie theater popcorn.
So good.
I know.
Just the great memories. And again, growing up in North Minneapolis, the commentary was phenomenal. I know they don't like that anymore, but my God, you sitting there watching some horror movie and you got 5 black women in the back row. Don't go in there, girl. I love that stuff. Yeah. It was just wonderful. And then, of course, I made the mistake one time. I had basketball practice and wore my uniform to the movie theater. The entire movie, Barnard, because my name was on the back of the shirt. Yeah. The whole movie, Barnard. I was like, oh God.
That would have driven me crazy if somebody was saying my last name over and over. I'd be a wreck of a person.
That's kind of cute, actually. What the hell?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I'll ask Catherine if she wants to go see Barbie. I'll ask her.
Or you could wait. It's coming out in IMAX, and they're adding additional end credit scenes. So they're trying to get people back to see it a second or maybe a third time.
Kristyn, I will say this. You don't need to see it in IMAX.
I don't think so either, but I think that they will get some Barbie fans that'll go back and see it on the IMAX screen.
So it's funny, you said.
It is funny. Yeah, and you'll recognize a lot of iconic Barbie moments.
I like funny. I like when things are funny.
And you can go for $4. So if you absolutely
No, I'm going for free because I'm going with Jeff.
Yeah.
He's got $8 on him.
Yeah, you're getting treated. You're out no money. You can buy yourself a big thing of popcorn and you'll be fine.
I just love it.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Do you guys bring popcorn home? Because that's a big staple for us. I know, and I feel like it's really gross, but we'll eat it the next day a bunch. We always bring a bunch of popcorn home and eat, and I feel like everyone's face on here is you're disgusting.
I bring mine home.
Breakfast. You bring your next day. Breakfast popcorn's amazing.
Yeah,
breakfast popcorn. I like it.
Jeff, thank you. Same. Yeah, I love bringing it home and just snacking on it the next day.
Day old
and
is
the
best.
butter has soaked into the popcorn too, so it's really good.
So I got bad news for you. You set down a bucket of popcorn in front of me, ain't gonna be one kernel left.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna happen. I love movie theater popcorn. Always have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, man, you get a little Coca-Cola or Pepsi and a bucket of popcorn and whatever else what's that? Whoppers? That's the big movie theater candy, isn't
Whoppers.
it?
Whoppers. You guys go Goobers? You go Raisinets?
Oh, I do like Raisinets.
Yeah.
I love Raisinets.
I go Twizzlers.
Twizzlers.
I have a friend that dumps his peanut M&Ms into his popcorn.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Incredible.
So good.
Incredible.
It's so good. We had Barbie themed popcorn at the event, and they put marshmallows and M&Ms in it. Marshmallows, not so much. But I was just digging in there for the M&Ms.
I was digging in there. All right, Kristyn, another brilliant report, I thought.
All right, well, thanks so much. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Pfoser has to hit the road because he has a real life, too.
I do. This feels real, though, and I can't wait for our double date on Sunday.
You got to come. I'm telling you got to come back. Nothing, and these two can tell you, nothing puts me in a better mood than having comedians in the studio.
Yeah.
I've always loved it. I've always loved sitting and watching comedy anyways from the time I was a little kid. Well, again, very quickly I'll get through this. My father and I never got along. Mm-hmm. The only time he and I ever communicated is if I would do, 7 or 8 years old, do stand-up in front of him in front of the TV.
Wow.
It's the only time I spent it. So to me, a comedian's the most important people in the world. You got to keep us laughing. You got to keep us happy. There's no question about it.
Well, it's the best sound in the world. I mean, baby noises and, honeymoon nights and that kind of stuff. Great noises. But laughter, holy cow.
Phenomenal.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, and I will say, only because I'm not saying this because you are my friend. I am just saying this as a comedian to another comedian. Jeff, one of the best. Super professional, super funny. Everyone in this scene loves you. I'm so glad you came on today, my man. Next hour, we got Nate Abshire coming in.
Oh, perfect.
Huge prick. That guy, what an asshole.
I knew it.
Jeff's one of the best. So thank you for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me. I love this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Pfoser, Jesse the Shrink's Midlife Crisis Show, August 30th, House Comedy, 7:30, housecomedy.net for tickets. That's houseofcomedy.net for tickets. Jeff, come back soon. Come back really soon.
Thank you. I will. Appreciate this.
We'll be right back in just a couple seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about acoustic wave therapy and whether or not this therapy could be right for you. What is it? It's the latest advancement in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. It's being offered at the Twin Cities Premier Health in Edina. That's where I go, as a matter of fact. Acoustic wave therapy is a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and treats the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. Right now, Twin Cities Premier Health has a special offer, a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800 using savings code TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Just like I've experienced at Twin Cities Premier Health, there are no medications to take. You'll notice that their work is overseen by highly trained health professionals all along the way. If you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and take away all spontaneity in your love life, connect with the team at Twin Cities Premier Health like I did. Right now, receive this special offer, a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800. You can reach them at my unique phone number, 952-395-4346. That's 952-395-4346. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com and use savings code TOM.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit BialkeLaw.com. That's BIALKE Law.com.
Hi, this is Tommy B. My friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales at their Albertville location off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the Minnesota State Fair. Along with everything you can buy on a stick at the Great Minnesota Sweat Together, you should have some cool incentives with a State Fair deal when you purchase an RV from Niemeyer's Albertville location. How's this sound? Receive a free exterior ceramic coat and NanoCure interior treatment. These coatings provide a durable, long-lasting shield against dirt, water, and UV rays, and basically extend the life of your RV to keep it looking newer and lasting longer. It's a $2,000 value, free with purchase if you get an RV from Niemeyer's by September 5th in Albertville only. Plus great deals on their campers at both Albertville and Elko New Market, now through the end of State Fair. Take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales and see my guys and gals at Niemeyer's and look at what they got at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com, Niemeyers.com. Your State Fair deals end on September 5th. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you. Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. We'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. In a damn good mood, because whenever comedians come in, it puts me in a damn good mood.
He was funny.
Very great guy, really nice guy. But, it's funny because I ran down the hall for a second, and on the way back I was thinking, you run into comedians because Jeff and I had never met before. Yeah. And just from moment one, just a really pleasant, very funny, very nice guy and all the rest of it. And thinking about it, I can think of only about 3 comedians or people that thought they were comedians that were not very pleasant. I literally can't. I don't think I can get beyond 3 because one is that Rich, what's his name, the Sniglets guy,
Rich Hall.
Rich Hall. What an arrogant prick that guy was. Then we went. Daniel Tosh. Oh my God, you ever been around Daniel Tosh?
But at least he doesn't pretend to be likable. Like,
no, he does not. That's very true.
Like, is his on-air person? It's always weird when somebody's like a super happy-go-lucky on air. But at least Daniel Tosh is. It seems like that's who he is.
Just an arrogant prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just does. You're absolutely right. And then I don't know. Other people have had a completely different experience, but the 2 times that I've been around your buddy, and my son-in-law is a big listener of his, Joe Rogan. He is not a pleasant person to be around. And maybe he just doesn't like me or something. Maybe that's what it is.
Where did you meet Rogan at?
He came into town. Oh, God, where was it? He came into town. Was it at the old...
he was at Trucaderos one night, downtown Minneapolis.
Okay,
I bet that's when you met him. Yeah, because that's the only show I remember Joe Rogan doing is Trucaderos.
Because I cannot remember where...
Trucaderos is downtown in the warehouse district. It's on the same road as Acme, but it's kind of further east of Acme. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was a long time ago.
Old house.
And then I had him on the KQ Morning Show once, and he was just a prick the whole time. And I something about, we were just talking about seeing this great movie or whatever, and how much we enjoyed it and blah, blah, blah. And they said, Joe's on the phone. So I said, hey, Joe Rogan, how you doing? Nice having you on. Did you ever see this blah, blah, blah? And he goes, I don't watch movies. I'm like, oh, really? Is that how we're going to start?
Oh, no. Wasn't he the I don't watch cartoons guy?
I don't watch cartoons. No, that was Bill Maher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bill Maher
said I don't watch cartoons. Yeah. Yeah, Bill wasn't pleasant either. That's very, very true. Guys, when they're rising to the top, and seriously, it really upsets Dan, my son-in-law, that I didn't have pleasant experience. Guys his age love Joe Rogan. My God, they love him.
They quote him, and I always know they're quoting him. They're like, actually, here's a fact. And I was like, is that a Joe Rogan fact? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like very much so the same 5 facts given to me sprinkled throughout the year. So,
I mean, he's doing a hell of a job. What he did, and he was very smart doing it. He watched Adam Carolla, because Carolla was the first one to break big on podcasting, and a huge podcast. Yeah. And Rogan paid attention to that, and he kind of took that and added his own personality to it, and it just blew up. It was huge.
I don't hate Joe Rogan. I would have to say, like, the one thing is he doesn't accept that he's not an expert in everything, which is very annoying, because you go, I know that you are not a doctor. Sorry. I just know that. And like the small, maybe you did 4 hours of, internet Googling. That's not the same as a degree. Let's just acknowledge that. But he does ask great questions. And I think
does he? Okay.
He will change his mind on things if he has an expert on that's there to like.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I think there's like redeeming qualities, but man, and I guess that's everything, right? We all have like obsessions, but people who like Joe Rogan love Joe Rogan.
And by the way, he and I have mutual friends. So, there are people that I really, really like, and those people really like him. So he's got to have some good quality. It's just, he and I just, there are certain people when you meet them, you just don't ever click. You don't mesh.
And I think that's okay, right? Like that somebody can be super talented, really entertaining, and also a prick. Like, I think that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, not everyone's warm. And
biggest heartbreaker for me was I found that out about Jerry Lewis. I hated that.
Oh, that must have hurt.
I loved Jerry Lewis as a little boy, and then I found out he was just a prick to most people.
Who we had in studio I was a big fan of was Tom Green, and he was not warm at he wouldn't even talk to us.
Yeah, he borrowed a guitar for a comedy show at House of Comedy. He borrowed my guitar, and he was a huge asshole to me. Yeah,
I know.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Why? Why do these guys do it?
I don't know.
I was so excited to meet him. I love I love the Tom Green show. I thought he was hilarious, and I went into the studio and I was like, "Hey, I just wanted to say hi. Like, I'm in this other studio," and he goes, "Yeah." I was like, it was the first time somebody treated me that bad that wasn't mad at me for something. You know what I mean? Like, I screwed up things all the time. People got mad, but like this was like, oh, okay. Like all right. Like, cool. I'm going to go hide in my studio now and never say hi again.
Yeah, going through that is not pleasant. There's no question about it. It's like, why do you want to do that? Don't do that.
Yeah.
I know, especially like when you know that like I'm the demographic who probably idolizes you, but whatever, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting to watch that because Joe Rogan, mostly now, from what I understand, I actually have never heard his show, but it's almost all comedians now, isn't it?
It's a lot, yeah. A lot of news guys as well. Speaking of news guys, we do have Chris Egert for a few more minutes. He's actually on the bus at the Minnesota State Fair.
Oh, so we can actually talk to. I thought we couldn't talk to him on the bus.
No, he's on his phone, so he called in this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Just again sitting around on his ass on a bus somewhere, never working. Here's Chris Egert.
I am no longer on the bus. I have arrived at the 5 Eyewitness News compound.
Oh, the compound. There's a compound.
Oh, it's a compound. Have you ever seen this baby? It's a whole thing.
This
it
baby.
Is. So it is. It's a whole studio right out here. It's pretty cool.
As a news guy, have you had experiences with not necessarily just comedians or actors or whatever, but people who you thought they were going to be a great interview and they turned out to be a complete pain in the ass?
Yeah, and other news people. Big timer news people. You guys remember Pat O'Brien?
Sure.
Sports guy, longtime sports guy from South Dakota. Like, he's from my homeland, and I met him when I was just starting out. I think it was still interning, and oh my God, he was such a Richard. I was like, and that was, that was well before the vibrator on the phone thing or whatever weird. I don't remember what it was he got kind of in trouble for. And maybe caught him on a bad day. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, oh my God. Like, to me at that time, it was like meeting somebody of that, that level of broadcasting. I was like, holy crap, it's Pat O'Brien. God, he was
Why? I've never understood that. And you know what's so funny about that? The guys I really didn't like, I can't remember their names. I just washed their names out of my brain. Like the actor, he's been pretty much canceled now. He had a big TV show. He got canceled about 3-4 years ago.
Are you talking about, what's his name? I can see his face. Kevin Spacey?
Spacey?
No, not Kevin Spacey, but he's a prick too. No, it's, I was trying to think of the name of his TV show was called like 1 in a Million or something. I don't know. Hell of an actor. He was... What's that big movie he was in? And he's just an arrogant little prick. Oh, God, was he arrogant. He brought a friend into studio. There's the old Studio B over at the Q, and he's sitting there. Oh, what the hell's his name?
Are you talking about Topher Grace?
No, not Topher Grace.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a weird guy, too.
He was in, because he came to town to promote a movie, and he was one of the weirdest guys.
Very weird guy.
He was so
his name is Topher. What do you want?
Uh-huh.
Well, Christopher Topher, what's the difference, right? Oh, God, I cannot believe I can't remember his name.
Tobey Maguire.
Nope.
Okay.
He was an actor. He was not a comedian. He was an actor on, and I can't even remember the name of the damn show. I disliked him so much, I scrubbed everything about him from my brain. But we're sitting in Studio B over at the Q, and he brought somebody with him into the studio. So I'm talking to this big TV movie star or whatever the hell he is. He was on that big, it was like 35-year-old Los Angeles actor show. What the hell was that thing called? You know what I'm talking about? It was like a Sunday night show. It was on for years, too, and it did really, really well.
Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy Piven. Exactly. Good job.
Wow.
How did you know that?
I really want to take credit, but it was a listener wrote in, Thomas Warhol.
Oh.
So Thomas remembers what a prick that Jeremy Piven was when he was on the KQ Morning Show?
That's pretty consistent. That's very on brand for Jeremy Piven.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But this, I literally almost said, you get the hell out of my studio now. He brings in a buddy with him into the studio. So I'm talking to Jeremy Piven and blah, 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 and he's like, Mr. Cocky as he's always been. And so I looked at his friend and I said, I don't remember the guy's name, but I'll say his name was Bill or whatever. I said, so Bill, how are things going with you? And Piven goes, wait a second. I said, yeah? He goes, you're interviewing me, not him.
Oh,
I said,
my God.
You know what, Jeremy? This is my studio. I'll do whatever the hell I want in my own studio. You got it?
Wow.
God, what a jerk. Oh. Well,
His name sounds pretentious, doesn't it? Piven.
Piven.
Yeah.
That's you,
Why don't you-
Piven.
Piven.
So there are some folks in the entertainment business, that are not pleasant to be around. That is true.
What a Piven.
What a Piven you are.
Let's go ahead and pivot away from this guy. Am I right?
Hey, I'm interviewing Chris right now, not you, Brittany.
I know.
What a Piven.
Hey,
What a
I came in
Piven.
here. I'm the big deal. You pay attention to me.
We're going to do that from now on. If somebody's being a prick, I'm going to go, you're kind of a Piven. Do you know that?
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna try to remember that. I'll forget by the time the day's over, but I'm gonna try.
We'll remind you every day. How much longer? I don't want to keep you too long because I know you have duties. I'd like to keep you. Do you have 5, 6, 7 more minutes?
I don't actually.
I didn't think so, yeah.
I got to jet because we got to get. It's a little more complicated doing the show out here, so we got all kinds of tech stuff. We got to troubleshoot and everything. So, I'll try maybe call in a little bit earlier tomorrow.
You're the best, Pally. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
See you, bud.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Egert, supreme being that he is. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. That's so funny that all of us working at different places ran into these same people and have the same take on them. It's like, oh my God, how unbearable.
It is kind of nice because then you can say, oh, it has nothing to do with me. Because
No.
like even Rudy saying that like Tom Green borrowed his guitar and was still an asshole to him. I literally live in like shame. Like so one time I got high and thought about that Tom Green interaction for like 20 minutes. I was like, was I weird? Should I have not gone in there? Maybe I was annoying. And you're like, oh, no, this guy's just an asshole.
He's just disappeared now, hasn't he?
He is up in Canada. He moved out to a cabin in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Lives by himself. Does
Good spot for him.
Does a podcast out there. Every now and again, he'll pop into like Toronto or Montreal to do some like a theater show, probably 2-3 times a year. I suppose just to make some cash, and then go right back to his cabin. But yeah, after the Drew Barrymore thing, and then that awful movie, Freddie Got Fingered. And,
God.
it was
Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Yeah.
Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Yeah.
It was just so bad.
Yeah, he did a show recently called, I think it's called Laugh and You're Out. It's this Canadian show where they bring in all these comedians and they're all playing for charity. They all live in a house together, and if you laugh, you get thrown out of the house. So they're all trying to make each other laugh. And he was on that show for, I think, a few weeks. But yeah, other than that, just grew a beard and lives out in the woods.
Good for him, because nobody likes you, so stay in the woods. I literally have never met one person that worked with him that liked him.
I think he's calmed down a lot now.
Oh, well, that's
yeah. Because I, even when he was on that show, because I watched it out of Canada for a little while, and he seemed much more calm. Because yes, when he was here, when he did those interviews, and he was in town, and we don't need to mention names, but at some point, the last show of the night on Saturday night, we had gone to because the owner felt bad that he was like this superstar was a massive dick to me, even though I drop off my guitar and my amp, and I drop off all this equipment, and he basically just like shoos me off. And the owner felt bad and was like, hey man, why don't you just go ahead and you can come to the show that night. So Saturday night, I brought a few friends, and Tom's stand-up set was subpar at best.
Ooh, subpar at best.
But the last 5-10 minutes, he told this amazing story about being on the road with his best friends during the Tom Green show at the height of its powers on MTV. And it's a very moving, funny story. And afterwards, I was breaking down all the stuff, and he came walking into the main room. And I said, hey, really nice show. And he kind of rolled his eyes. And I said, by the way, that last story that you told, very funny. I'm like, I kind of wish you would have done more of that for the entire show. Like, your stand-up's good, but he did not. He was angry. I understand. It's a backhanded compliment. But at the same time, that's what we're there to see. We want to hear these stories of the things that we grew up on. Nobody wants to watch you do your little stand-up bit about your laptop or whatever it is. I want to hear these old stories of the Tom Green show. And he did not deliver. And then ended up taking a bunch of Hooters girls back to the hotel room with him that night. And I'm like, all right, you are not the guy I thought you were.
Good for him, honest to God. See, now to prove there's balance in the universe, which I like to look for, if there are that many pain-in-the-ass people, have you had a few people that you were surprised how nice they were because they were such massive stars? They were incredibly nice. You ever been through that?
I think recently, Jay Moore.
Yeah, Jay Moore's great.
Oh, Jay
really
Moore
good
was
guy.
so lovely and remembered all of our remembered my name, and that was like shocking because like he'd obviously talked to Rudy and Tom's a big deal, but he was like, "Hey, Brittany, what do you think about that?" And I was like, "Whoa, why do you know my name? Like how?" He was just so warm and nice.
He thought your name was Phyllis, so he still made a mistake.
Yeah, but like, what an honor to not be Brittany for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who else was awesome that I recently met was Wayne Newton. Damn,
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, the best.
That's what I've heard. He was very, very pleasant guy.
And then Dave Coulier he was in studio at the Q, and then oh my God, Danny Tanner.
Bob Saget.
Yeah, Bob Saget was so lovely to all of us when he was in studio.
With Jeff Cesario.
And you know what? It's Tom, I think you're onto something. These people who have experienced huge fandom and fame.
Yeah.
And then they come back down and like maybe Dave Coulier and Bob Saget were always like that, but they were coming down from, being on Full House and being the biggest stars. They were not.
He just brought in a cup of coffee. I thought it was for me.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Nate's your assistant now?
Yes, Nate is my assistant now. No, we're just actually, Nate Abshire in with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking. How long do you have, Nate? How long can you stay today?
I got nothing but time.
Okay, so 10 o'clock. You're just locking in now.
Sure.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. I'll be your Huckleberry.
I'll be one of my favorite lines in the history of movies.
It's a great movie.
I'm your Huckleberry.
You're a daisy if you do.
I love that you know those lines. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I didn't, at first I thought, it's going to be some cowboy movie. It was not just some cowboy movie, not at all. We're just talking about meeting people, that are not that, either people in your business or actors or whatever, that are not that friendly, kind of have a real attitude about them.
Sure.
So you missed all that part, so that's probably good.
Oh, that would have been my favorite.
We can go back.
Yeah,
Nate, we can go back if you want.
Nate is down to talk shit.
Okay,
and we love it.
Okay, Nate, just one guy you've worked with that's a massive pain in the ass.
Just be honest. Tell us. Give it.
Don't say me.
Yeah,
well, okay, all right. I'm gonna have to start over.
Well, good night, everybody.
I gotta go home now.
Man, that really puts me on the spot.
No, I don't want to put you on the spot, so we don't have to do that part. We can do the good people part.
Okay,
good. Because I like putting people on the spot.
I was going to say, you could tell the story about this person being a jerk.
Oh.
We don't have to give a name.
Okay, all right. If I don't have to name names, there's this club that used to exist in Indianapolis where if you, I was featuring, and when you're featuring, you become the ride for the headliner.
Sure.
Because you're both at the same hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
And so at the time, it was a huge pain. But now it would be like, they get the features a hotel?
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I'm going through this right now. Yes.
That's a fact.
But at the time, it was a huge pain. And most headliners are really self-sufficient, and then you just give them a ride to the show. It's no big deal. You got to go anyway. Whatever.
Right.
But there was one headliner where I was running errands for them.
Oh, God.
The weekend where I'd take them to CVS to get the specific brand of probiotic.
Of course.
And then we wanted, they wanted to get pizza. So we went to a pizza place, and then they were like, this place is filthy. Let's go somewhere else. And I'm like, look, man, you picked.
Yeah.
I didn't take you to a dirty pizza place.
God, this is making it difficult trying to find a funny Italian.
There's one. His name's Cesario. He'll be here in 2 weeks.
That's right. He'll be here. I love
Cesario.
God, I love Cesario.
Was it Chris Kattan?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Oh, he can be difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys said we weren't going to go to the.
I know, Nate. They really bait and switched.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I know.
Since you already gave
you
the
guys
story,
set me up.
So last hour though was that Nate Abshire. What a prick! It was unbelievable.
Well, I was going to say Nate, salt of the earth guy. That Jeff Pfoser, what a son of a bitch that guy.
That
guy. Disgusting.
Nate, I'll start with I got to it in the middle of talking to Jeff but I can't tell you how great it is to have comedians back in the studio.
Oh, I love it.
After all these 3-4, it was at least 3 years of not having anybody around, and it got really old. My whole career starting at KQRS was built on having comedians in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was how I made my career. So to not have you people in by you, I mean, the men and the women, that's what I meant by you people, instead of just you guys, you know.
Sure.
All the rest of it. But I loved it from day one. And I remember it was a bitch talking people in. In 1986, I said, we got to get some comedians in studios. Nobody brings comedians in the studio. I said, I know. That's why I want to do that. Because I had just moved back from New York, and I spent a lot of time hanging around comedians in New York.
I feel like in those days, too, the real resistance was like, how are you going to get them awake?
Well, that's true. That was a big part of it.
Because back in the day, the manager used to drive you, would show up at your hotel room and take you to radio. And now they're like, you're all grown-ups. And I'm like, I kind of miss the days when we got kid gloves, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta talk to Tevin. We have Tevin, he used to be the manager at House of Comedy, and he used to bring in our comedian. And he would have the craziest stories about having to wake up comedians, seeing them in their apartment. Like, one had just been broken up by his girlfriend, so was like, told him this long story about it and how he was going to email her that. And it was just so funny.
Yeah, morning is not our peak time.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Who's the one that told the great story about the boyfriend and girlfriend? He was picking. Might have been Tevin.
It was Tevin, and Tevin was like, he came into my studio and he's like, yeah, this guy just had a breakup, and he was crying about it, and he was saying, I'm just going to email her. And Tevin was like, when did you guys break up? And he's like, about a year ago. And Tevin was like, oh my
Remember
God.
what the guy said into his cell phone? And you could hear it on the air through the wall. There was this silence, and we won't say who the comedian was. It's not necessary.
No.
But yes, he was whining and pining away for a year about this woman. And for some reason, I said, well, let's just open his mic. We'll get back to him. We'll get him out of this. It'll be just fine. Yeah. They turn his mic up, and he goes, remember this? We turn his mic up, and just as we turn his mic up, he's leaning back in his chair on his phone. He goes, please come back to me. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like,
no, exactly. Because I was in the other studio, and I was like, hey, can I get you like water, coffee, a Prozac? Like, can I get you something? And he was just wanted to tell everyone about this girlfriend. And when we found out it was over a year ago, the breakup, we were like, you need to buck up, bro.
Yeah, that changes like 1 day to 1 year. Somewhere in there is when I'm like, all right, well, when are you gonna cowboy up and ride again? You know what I mean?
Indeed.
I think it's the 1 month mark where I go, if it's over a month, I'm like, no, we can't care. Listen, we've had a whole lunar cycle. It's time to get over it.
She's already had a single period.
Yes, exactly. She's already bled, okay?
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
We have to go to break here.
Nate, I like you. Yes.
Nate Abshire, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend at Laugh Camp, Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock. camp-bar.net for tickets, camp-bar.net for tickets. Nate Abshire. We'll be right back in just a couple of seconds. Take a break. You got time.
Yeah.
Good. Just don't turn on us now.
No.
Okay,
no, I'm
good.
ready.
Thank you. Hi, this is Tommy B. from my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Their Albertville location off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the Minnesota State Fair, along with everything you can buy or on a stick or at the great, the Great Minnesota Sweat Together. I kind of like to call it that. You should have some cool incentives with a State Fair deal when you purchase an RV from Niemeyer's Albertville location. How's this sound? Receive a free exterior ceramic coat and NanoCure interior treatment. These coatings provide a durable, long-lasting shield against dirt, water, and UV rays, and basically extend the life of your RV to keep it looking newer and last longer. It's a $2,000 value, as a matter of fact. Free with purchase if you get an RV from Niemeyer's by September 5th in Albertville only. Plus great deals on their campers at both Albertville and Elko New Market now through the end of the State Fair. Take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales. See my guys and gals at Niemeyer's and look at what they got at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com. Niemeyers.com. Your State Fair deals end on September 5th. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you.
When you need someone to listen, a a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have two paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit lifesource.org.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and Mike and I were just discussing some things like the Twins and all the rest of it, but Judd will be with us at 9:10, so we can talk some sports at that point.
I just hope he doesn't come in here with that negativity.
Yeah, unlike the both of us, so positive all the time, right on the money. Nate Abshire in studio with us, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend at Laugh Camp, Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock, camp-bar.net for tickets. So, Nate, are you a Twins fan?
I'm not a big sports guy.
Not a big sports guy.
Yeah,
it happens.
I want all the home teams to do well.
So you grew up in the suburbs?
No, I grew up in Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana. Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Where?
Yeah, I'm from the South.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my family's farm. We sold it a few years ago. It was 14 miles north of the Gulf of Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, like south of Lafayette, basically.
I'm guessing that when you left Louisiana, the state's literacy rate went down by about 8%.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
You know, it's funny. The people that I know, a lot of people in Louisiana that actually talk like I do.
Yeah. Yep.
It's definitely not the norm.
I'm not hearing that Cajun thing.
I've never had an accent. I can do it when I'm home, but it feels kind of fake, I guess. But I've just never really had an accent. I used to do material about it, where it would be like,
Sure.
Well, give us just 10 seconds of Cajun.
I can't do it here, is the thing. I have to be around it for a little bit.
Sure,
The main thing about Cajun as opposed to other Southern dialects is that there's lots of words that do not exist otherwise. Like instead of being scared of the boogeyman, it's a tatai.
Oh yeah.
That's a monster. That's the monster that you're
monster.
scared of. What's another one? Like if something's cute, you would say sha.
Oh, I don't know, Sha.
Yeah, Sha.
I wonder what the hell that's from. Where would that come from?
It's all French derived.
Oh, I suppose that's true, yeah.
I can't think of any of the other.
You know, I got to be honest with you. If I have to go with a Southern accent, it's the same guy every time.
Yeah, I do that one too.
Tony Joe White.
Yeah.
That's some of y'all never been down south too much. I'll tell you a little bit about this. You know, I do. Every time I have to do a Southern accent, I do Tony Joe White.
Well, you could be worse.
That's true.
I do Tulsa.
Oh, yeah. Well, your family's from Tulsa, so that makes sense.
Yeah, the only Jew in Minnesota who can trace back to Tulsa.
You know, we're on a kind of a streak because yesterday we had a guest in, a great guy, and he was from Jackson, Mississippi.
All right.
So I spent a lot of time in Louisiana, Mississippi, all the rest of it, because after was it Hurricane Katrina? Was it 900 years ago now?
Yep,
It's
just
been
about.
a long time ago, but my wife and I spent some time down there trying to help people out and all the rest of it. And what I found out is the politicians down there are even bigger thieves than the ones up here.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
It's pretty impressive, actually.
Well, there's kind of a tradition, right?
Yeah, it's just how we do it.
Yeah.
It's how we do it. And Edwin Edwards' name came up.
Yep, Edwin. That one was
phenomenal,
amazing.
Iconic.
I mean, really the Abraham Lincoln of corrupt politicians.
There'll never be another Huey, though.
Right.
Well, he was Huey was his teacher.
Right, exactly.
That's exactly
He
what
set
went on.
the standard.
He did set the standard.
There's another word I just thought of is lagniappe.
Lagniappe,
which means a little bit on top for free. It's similar to gratis.
Oh,
the
so
way it's
lagniappe.
used, so I think that the politicians in Louisiana, it's just lagniappe.
So it's all French derived.
Yeah. All those words are from
Okay.
the French dialect.
But I got to be honest with you, just going, I don't care if it's in Jackson, Mississippi, or New Orleans, Louisiana, or wherever in Louisiana. Lafayette, you already talked about. I had a good friend mine just died that lived he was from Lafayette, Indiana. Great guy. Dr. Grady Brock. Did you ever know Dr. Brock?
He's one of the few specialists I've never heard of.
He talked like this, too. He had this kind of voice just like this.
Yeah.
Dr. Grady Brock, I'm going to go down. Hey, Tommy, let's go downtown. I'm like, okay.
There's something so comforting about a deep Southern accent on a doctor, especially.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
It's pretty bad, but I think we'll be able to get it. Yeah, we're going to get after it for you. We're going to get after it for you. Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. Okay, Doc. Thank you so much. No question about it. So, Mike, things are good?
Things are never good, but...
Well...
Yeah, you don't want me to jump into that positive thing.
We're not going to have any positives?
No, things are good, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. See,
No complaints today, but give me 10 minutes.
We were just lining up this whole rack of names about people that we've had in studio that we believe are raging pricks.
Well, it's kind of a long list, right? I mean,
what?
Well, no, I mean it just goes. I mean, if you go back to radio, it goes back a long time. So.
Well, Nate was like, "I'm not getting involved in that." I thought that was great. Not gonna.
You just narrow it down to comics who were pricks.
Yeah, we did. We narrowed it down to that. We did. Well, you know, it's interesting. Well, no, but seriously, and again, I was just thanking Nate for coming in, thank Jeff for coming in, because this has been my whole career, sitting talking to comedians in studio. I love it, and it was gone for 3 years, and I really missed it. No doubt about that.
What, they just said no more comics, or what was the deal?
No, everybody was sick. It was COVID.
Yeah, I get that, because the whole comedy thing kind of just, I hate to use this expression, but it kind of went south.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
It's a great phrase.
I
love that
phrase. But you're back now, and it's so great to be sitting down having, conversations with people face to face. Because on the phone it's fine, but it's not as good as being face to face.
It's not the same.
No,
there's no energy in the room. I mean,
right.
This is much better. I mean, also I did some Zoom comedy during COVID.
Oh yeah, a lot of that.
And that is maybe the worst thing you could ever do.
A little painful.
It sucks. But the thing that I discovered that's the worst about it isn't just that you always bomb, and you're always bombing. Doesn't matter how many people are laughing. It's a half second late. It's not fun. But the worst part is when you go do a show and you bomb, you get to leave.
Yeah, right.
But when you bomb on a Zoom call, it's over and you're still home. Like, you can't, you're just still there.
You got to suck it up. How do you do Zoom comedy? Boy, that'd be a bitch. That'd be tough.
I didn't do much. I did a couple corporates that were, most of the Zoom shows that I did were as fun as they could be.
Yeah, I could see that.
Where there were people that were into it and they were laughing, but it's just disconnected enough where it doesn't feel like every stand-up comic genuinely, I believe, is addicted to the endorphin rush of doing stand-up comedy. We're just addicts that found the best drug. And
I've known a few who found other drugs, though.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're sitting across from one.
Oh. Well.
I mean, not currently. But,
right.
Well, I thought you were talking about me.
And so that's what you're after.
Yeah, listen, he only takes THC at night to sleep and then booze to get through the day, and that's all he does.
And then, any
Yeah.
stressor, a couple pills.
There you go.
Just to take the edge off.
Yeah.
And if you have like a 4-day weekend, maybe some heroin. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I never did street drugs. Isn't that weird? I used
That
to
is
love
weird.
drinking like a madman, but I was just never a street drug. I didn't trust anybody enough to go, oh, I'm sure that this is pure and clean. Like, no, thanks.
It never is, but...
No, it never is it? Well, that guy died, but other than... you don't... Who needs it? Do you think doing Zoom... I never thought of this before, but if you're not just doing stand-up comedy, but you do have kind of an act like an Emo Phillips, he would be more comfortable doing Zoom because it's not really him anyway.
Yeah.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
That does. The hard part for me with Zoom is that it doesn't feel the same. And the feeling is why I do it. Now, at the show, I want everyone to have a good time, and I do the show for the people that show up, but the reason that I do the show is because it feels good.
Yeah, well, hey, that's why you got into it.
Yeah.
Right? Because, if it made you feel like shit, you probably wouldn't want to do it anymore.
Well, there's a big swing there. When you first start, you are not good, and it does feel bad a lot. It feels like at first, doing well is the best you'll ever feel, and every other set is a shark attack.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I didn't realize at the time is that even feeling bad like that is a huge endorphin rush still.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's eventually actually the same effect on your brain state. It's just that one feels good, one feels bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had a workshop last night and then did a show afterwards. And there was a guy, this is his third time on stage. And obviously it didn't go well.
Yep.
And he emailed me last night and was like, hey, thanks for all your feedback. And I'm really embarrassed that I didn't put my best foot forward. And I emailed him back, hey, man, if you walked into a gym on day one, could you squat 300 pounds? No, of course not.
Yeah,
but eventually, if you work hard enough, you will be able to. So the comedy is the same thing. It drives me nuts that people just expect to grab a microphone and get on stage and be like, look at all my adoring fans. It's like podcasts, too. We're just going to do a little podcast and millions of... It does not work that way.
Yeah, you suck.
Yeah.
At first.
For a long, long time.
At everything that you'll do, you're going to suck at it, and you just have to realize that that's part of it.
Yeah.
But then every now and then you get the laugh.
Right.
And it just, your body temperature drops. I mean, your pulse slows down. And then from then on, it's just about that one moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gambling addiction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know about that.
You lose everything over and over, and every once in a while you hit a big score, and you're like, this is why I do it.
Yeah, I'm as we used to say at the Trek, I'm the king of the world.
Yes, exactly.
I love king of the world.
Yeah. You hit that $20,000 pick six, and we're the best ones here.
There you go. You're absolutely right. I haven't asked anybody this yet because we just got back to having comedians in studio, thank God, because I think, they're still saying that there's going to be another strain of COVID coming our way. There's
always going to be.
There's always going to be. No question about that. Nate, how you guys, and I'm asking, Rudy this as well, how has it changed comedy, the fact that we lost so many legendary comedians in the last 3 years? I mean, the Louis Andersons of the world, and locally Scott Hansen, of course, and you got your Bob Saget's, and you got Go down the list. There's like 10, 12 of them that died.
It's a huge
the
loss.
hell?
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald, I loved him.
Absolutely the funniest.
Yes.
I mean...
And Herman Cain, don't forget him.
Oh, don't forget Herman Cain. That's right.
I'm just saying that because, he was, remember when he was #1 on the primary list for like 2 weeks?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I was just reminded of that because I watched a little of the debate last night. There was some humor there.
You watched the debate?
Well, I didn't watch the whole thing.
I don't watch a lot of debates. How did it go? Did the red line and blue line separate like this, like they always do? I mean, what a joke!
I just figured, you'd have to go to a circus to see 8 clowns, and there you just got to see it all on one stage.
No, so you're saying if Biden had shown up, they'd all have been there.
Yeah,
that's what you. Oh, he hesitated.
The funny part was afterwards. I was watching, and they had like this spin room afterwards.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
Yeah. And so Donald Trump Jr. decided that he was going to go in there, and he was going to take his dad's place because his dad refused to debate, right?
Right.
Well, if his dad refused to debate, how can he say he's going to be part of the spin room?
I know. Well, his dad, he's checking into the Who's Cow today, isn't he? Isn't today he's turning himself in?
I think you're right, yeah.
I think it's today anyway.
Yeah, tonight I think, right? Wasn't that?
Was it tonight?
Wasn't that the deal? Well, he wanted to get the the biggest audience possible.
True. That was very, very true.
Can't blame him for that.
I just
showbiz, baby.
Yeah, it's showbiz, baby.
And also, can't blame him for not showing up to the debate. Why would he?
No, why would he? It's
a waste of time for him. LBJ didn't when he had 20 points ahead, and Nixon. The second time around, he didn't show up because he had a big lead over whoever it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, I'm having a very difficult time looking for someone I'd want to vote for.
Yeah.
I have no idea who the hell it would even be because I don't like any of them, to be honest with you. Maybe there's one that I don't know much about. Maybe they'll come storming to the front. Do you think that'll happen?
I'll look at it this way. You can get very good odds on that.
Very good odds. Yeah. I can make as big a bet as I want.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's going to come storming through the crowd.
I think that if this is how we're going to do picking candidates, what we should do instead is we pick the 2 oldest men in the country.
Right. There you go.
And those are who we have to pick between for president.
Well, that
no
wouldn't
other
be much of a change, would it?
No, just
wouldn't change much of anything.
And that way, everyone could be president.
Yeah.
Just take good care of yourself. It's also a public health initiative.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then maybe instead of a debate, we do like a karaoke or something. Like,
sure.
It doesn't matter. Like our push-up contest. If you get 1, you probably win.
Yeah.
You know what you just did to me? It popped in my head, and I have no idea why it did, but after you said that, I just pictured Ronald Reagan doing Lucy in the Sky. Thanks so much for that.
Yeah.
Why does that happen? It's like, how did that? Why? Why that song? Why that man?
Give us an impression. I feel like you could do it.
Who was it again? Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan, yeah.
No, I couldn't.
No?
I don't think, I know I couldn't. Well, of course.
I go, well.
All you have to
that's
do
a
is
good
that's
one.
not
Well,
that's all you
well, that was about it.
Yeah.
That and put on your pajamas and you're set.
You put on your pajamas, you'd be good to go.
I did see an Onion headline the other day that said family stricken with tough decision to either put dad in hospice or House of Representatives.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That's a good one. No doubt about it. How did that happen? I mean, I don't want to get too serious about this, but how did we end up with 2 guys who were 100? It doesn't. Why? How did that happen?
Genuinely, I think it's that less young people are voting.
You think that's what it is?
I think that's what it is. Most of the people, and it's always been true that older people are more likely to vote, but I think that it is like our elections are so much driven by 60 plus that running someone younger is almost a detriment.
That is so amazing to me, though. I mean, I just watch all this stuff and I go, where do you come up with these ideas?
But this is kind of also, it's kind of like a meteor striking the earth, you know?
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of things that just happened that just, you know, which were right out of there. I mean, just bizarre things. I mean, the phenomenon we're experiencing probably could, I don't think it can happen again.
No.
Not this bad.
I just have nobody to vote for. Who the hell am I going to vote for? I got nobody. It's very sad.
You could write me in.
Well, I could do that. That's true. Mike Gelfand for president. I kind of like the ring.
I wrote myself in, once in a local election, the St. Louis Park mayor election.
Oh, did you?
I didn't care for either. Well, because I never care for either.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote my name in. The problem is, I don't know if you've seen my handwriting.
Does it look like my handwriting?
Well, I always got an F in handwriting in grade school, and it never improved. Small motor skills, not my thing.
No, I agree.
So I wrote in the Stretch Monster.
Oh, I love that.
And they did a little funny story in the local in the suburban newspaper about the funny names, or just the people whose names were written in, and they included in there the Starch Duster.
The Starch Duster. Stretch Monster, Starch Duster.
Yeah.
How do you even arrive at Starch Duster? Where would that even come from?
It came from my handwriting.
I guess.
It was that bad.
I guess. Well, mine's no better. I can't even read my own signature. I literally could sign something. I have no idea what it says.
That's the great thing. You go to the store, grocery store, any place, and you have to write your name in. I think most of us just scribble, right?
Yeah, I just give them a squiggly line.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's good enough. So maybe they should stop asking for that.
Probably true, because it's not real anyway.
I'd love to be in a court case trying to recover my identity.
Right.
And then they're showing you the squiggles from the purchases, and you're like, no, that just doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
Those aren't my squiggles.
Could be a huge problem. What the hell? But we'll get through this, and then because there will be no Democratic debate, because he's not going to debate. The president's not going to debate. He doesn't have any interest in doing that. And why would he?
Yeah, well, him being in the incumbent, it wouldn't be much anyway.
No.
But, there's no incumbent on the other side, so so then that's why you got they only would have 8 guys, but there were other guys running who just didn't qualify.
Other guys running. Oh, you mean that debated last night?
Yeah.
How do they not qualify? I don't even know how you qualify.
There's a race before the debate, and if you're in the top 8 times, you get to debate.
So
that would be. I'd like to see
foot
that.
speed. It's all about foot speed.
We could eliminate those old guys.
Yeah,
eliminate the old guys. Yeah, because the only thing I saw this morning, and it was on, I think, Channel 5, because I cannot, Nate, I'm not kidding you, I cannot watch Fox or CNN. I can't do it. It's like, my God, you people suck.
All of the cable news channels are different perspectives with the same angle.
Yeah, that's right.
So each one of them is just selling fear to different people.
That's exactly what they're doing, making you anxiety-ridden.
And it sucks. I have one parent that watches the stuff from the right, and one that watches the stuff from the left.
That's got to be fun.
And I can't. Well, they don't live together.
That's good.
They're not married. They can't
be clear.
And I personally have found that works out really well.
Yeah. They divorced when I was 2. It's been,
I was gonna say they're still married. They just bought separate houses. That's all. So much easier.
Oh, that happened.
Which is like a huge
that's my
trend right now.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I can't stand either of them.
I can't either.
No, not my parents. Well,
no,
I mean,
but I have never liked your parents. Yeah, that's it exactly. No, I agree with you. I got nobody to vote for right now, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
Well, my answer, and people really don't like this, is I don't.
You just don't do it?
I don't.
Well, yeah, as you said before, the vote's dominated by one particular group anyway.
Well,
those over 60.
Also, the way that they count them, I live in Minnesota, and usually, here's the thing. Minnesota is going to go blue, and I'm not saying that I'm a liberal, personally. I'm not a Democrat, but, so I don't, voting in Minnesota is stupid. Now, if you live in, Ohio...
Right.
You absolutely should
meet
vote.
in the middle. Yep.
If you live in Ohio, your vote matters. Most other states, it doesn't.
Your vote matters, especially if you're a Republican.
Well, I mean,
these days, but it could shift. But in Minnesota, if you go back not that far, you'll see that the number, say, of Republican governors versus Democratic governors is just about the same. So we come and go, and we can have a blue wave, we can have a red wave in Minnesota.
Not anymore, though.
Yeah.
That
we'll
party's
see.
over.
I mean, we've thought that many times, but historically, it hasn't really turned out that way.
No, it has not historically, but people are getting much, much worse.
Yeah, well, now we're into this identity politics thing.
Yeah.
And and the fact is, there's just nobody, nobody in the middle anymore. So, I mean, that wouldn't sell anymore. Look at what CNN, you talked about CNN. They tried to go right down the middle.
They did, yeah.
For like a month.
Yep.
And their ratings plummeted. They fired the guy who was in charge, and they went back to the left because that's what the customers want.
It's where the money is.
Yeah. Well,
I have a question. Is it always been this way, like generational, where younger people feel a little bit like it's not worth voting for, or is it just recently with this generation?
Well, you know, the fact is that the young people did turn out in the presidential election. They didn't sit at home. No, they voted. I mean, it was really a good turnout.
This last election was an especially good turnout for that age group.
Yeah.
Really?
Sure. Yeah.
Wonder why.
I think it's most of them are liberal, and
they are. Yeah.
People that are younger skew liberal just generally, but I think that it was fear of another 4 years of Trump was that was the whole Democrat campaign. It wasn't really vote for Joe Biden. It was don't let Trump get back.
So now, what are they
there.
going to do about that? Because Biden is a disaster.
I don't know. I mean, I have
Look,
given up on.
He's a president. That's all. He's just a president. He was.
Yeah, they're all a disaster. That's exactly right.
But you know, the thing is, the other thing is, if you're, let's say you're 28 years old, and you've got a college degree. Yeah,
be so young.
I can't even imagine, but yes, I can, and it sucked. But let's say you're 28. You know, you've got a college degree. You went to, say, University of Minnesota, good college, and you studied hard, and now you got 4 jobs. You might not be happy with the way things are going, and so you'd vote for any kind of change you could get.
Yeah, I think that's right. Voting for change is a very big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, well, especially if if it seems like you know that your parents had a college degree and they were recruited.
My parents had a college degree. Good luck to you.
I just mean imagine it. Hey, look, I'm the only Gelfand ever to not get a college degree. I was the first in the family not to get a college degree. Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
We got Judd with us. Judd, how long do you have today? You got to be up by 30 again?
Nope. I got till
good.
40 again. So we're back. I apologize again for my schedule. And Brittany, to answer your question about the generational thing, don't forget, in the late 80s or early 90s, MTV had the whole rock the vote thing because kids weren't voting.
Right.
Yep.
And that was a big deal to get kids out and to vote. So yes, this has always been, I think it's a pendulum thing.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Probably. I guess so. I know we got to take a break here in a second, but I don't understand anybody how you could be in love with any of these people. I find them all to be disgusting.
Well, for the Democrats, I mean, it's not like they were in love with Biden.
No, God, no. Why would they?
He
be?
was an avatar.
I think everyone's voting against the other guy more than they're voting
for
anybody.
And that's all marketing, right? Like that's their like you were talking about, Nate. Like that's the tactic to take is like everyone is so over all these people, and it's like, but theirs is worse.
Well,
like
people, and people are exposed to negativity every second of the day.
Yeah, they are.
So it's not surprising that the voters vote negative.
It's hard to be good. It's easy to be better than the other guy.
I'm trying to hide my Biden poster I have up in my room.
Biden poster. I wouldn't doubt it. That's probably the one thing is we do have to move on to some spots here, but the thing that amazes me is this whole rigged election thing, and I'm not defending what Trump did at all. That's not what I mean. But have you ever seen an election that wasn't rigged in some states? They've been rigging elections forever. They've been cheating.
In one way or another.
Yeah.
If denying people the opportunity to vote is a rigged election, which I would think it is.
Yes, it is.
Well,
also, when you're 16, when you start finding out about how voting works, because at first you're just like, everyone gets a vote and everybody counts, because you go silly school, and then you find out the electoral college, and then you find out like all these weird things and how many votes don't count, whatever. That's probably when you 20 and you're like, oh, nothing matters. It's a joke. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of get hit in the face with what do you mean some votes don't count if they don't? Why?
Yeah.
You know?
I agree, though. I vote, but I don't ever knock anybody who doesn't, you know? But I don't like the fact that we say, hey, listen, man, if you didn't vote, you don't get to complain.
Oh,
I hate,
yeah.
Listen, I didn't work on Oppenheimer, but I have opinions, okay?
There you go.
Carlin had a bit about how, like, I don't vote, and people say if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. But I didn't do any of this.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
You guys did this. I have every right to complain.
Yeah.
This isn't my fault.
That's in the Constitution.
I butchered the bit, by the way, just to be clear. He was very funny.
You're not complaining now because of McDonald's burgers $25, are you? Jesus.
Yeah.
Nice expense. We do have to take a break here, ladies and gentlemen. Nate Abshire in studio this weekend at Laugh Camp Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock. camp-bar.net for tickets. Nate will be with us. Also, Judd is with us. Judd, I can bring you back unless they catch you in bed with a live boy or a dead girl. That came up yesterday again.
That's a Louisiana reference.
Edwin, you've never heard that before, Judd?
I'm not familiar with this.
Oh,
right now he's moving his blanket for some reason. What are you doing, Judd?
Yeah. Hold on a second. I got to go shuffle some things around.
I believe Governor
Was it Huey who said that?
No, it was Edwin Edwards.
Yeah.
I thought it was Huey Long, too.
Yeah, I would have just
But it was
assumed.
Edwin Edwards.
Well, but the same thing.
Was the governor 4 times in a row, and he used to say things like, I got this election nailed unless they find me in bed with a live boy or a dead girl. He actually said that.
I don't think it'd be a tough choice myself, but
Honestly, props on the swagger.
I
mean,
know.
that is.
Nate, it's so funny. If it wasn't so tragic, but it's so funny.
all I know is that and back in the day, you know, when I dated and thought maybe I'd get laid
Was
occasionally.
it live boys or dead girls? Which one
Well,
was it?
it's just that there were a number of occasions when I said to the woman I was with, "Stay with me, stay with me."
Being a romance novel.
Like the comedian you guys were talking about on the phone.
Yeah, please
You
don't leave
That's
me.
very different.
There you have it. We got to take a break. Be right back. Judd will be with us. Judd. Bullpen.
Yep.
That's all
I got your
have.
text
Oh, my God.
yesterday with the bad news. We can talk about it.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. I really have to say I'm feeling great, and I have to give the credit to mnfatloss.com. After going on the program this spring, I'm nearly at my ultimate weight loss goal. You know, there's no shame in gaining weight as we get a little bit older. I think you'd feel better, more energetic, and feel better in your clothes. A reset like mnfatloss.com could be the answer for you, just like it has been for me. I'm not even worried about temptations like the state fair. I'm not hungry. I don't crave carbs or sugar. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, it's about a pound of fat every day, by the way. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew Root Beer and Cream Soda. Grab a 6-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This summer, enjoy the one Killebrew Root Beer and Cream Soda.
Your family will love Minnesota-made Killebrew Old-Fashioned Root Beer and Cream Soda. Then cheer on the fun. Take it from me, Ken Herbeck. Killebrew. It's how memories are created and legends are made.
Dougie, how's life in Baldwin?
I love it, though it's a bit hard to find a half-calf, decaf, heavy foam.
I'll give you some heavy foam.
Yeah, that's what he said. Anyway, I just came back from the National Ford meeting and got to hear Bill Ford, Henry's grandson, and Jim Farley, who's the CEO, talk about the future of the company. It was really interesting, and I learned some cool stuff. Read this.
Ford builds more vehicles in the USA than any other brand. Huh? I thought it would have been Tesla.
Not even close. Keep reading.
Ford outsold Toyota in 2022 and is on track to do it again. I didn't know that either. Probably these commercials.
Yeah, sure, Bill.
Ford has successfully partnered with the UAW and hasn't suffered a strike in over 40 years. Ford also has the largest number of assembly workers in the United States.
You know, Tom, I've really fallen in love with the product. From the electrics to the Super Duties, thanks to you, a lot of people have reached out to put Ford on their list. If you want to talk cars in general or Ford specifically, reach out to me at Doug@flagshipford.com.
Flagshipford.com. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Nate Abshire in studio this weekend at Laugh Camp Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock, camp-bar.net for tickets. Mike Gelfand in studio. Judd's with us as well. Thank you to our listenership because they sent me a number of messages. When I told that story earlier, I misspoke. I guess I said Grace Slick when I meant Grace Jones. Grace Slick was with Jefferson Airplane. Mm-hmm. Grace Jones was a singles act. So I didn't even realize I said Grace Slick. I thought I said Grace Jones, but I misspoke. So, yes, it was Grace Jones that was Seriously Purple, which I thought was a magnificent.
Somebody else said was Seriously Purple, not you.
Yeah, two young black women. They could say things like that at Music City. That's all I'm saying. All right, so Judd. I'm watching the Twins game yesterday. Well, there I confessed.
How'd you feel when Thielbar came into pitch?
I can't take it anymore. I really can't.
I got a text. That game must have, because we were actually recording a Viking show, and I got a text from you. It must have been instantaneous to the meltdown and the winning run coming across to score. And as Mike says, Grandpa Bramer being very distraught from the highs, from the highs of a win that he thought was coming to the lows of a loss. But yeah, I mean, that's this team, right? Like it's like our last 2 days, not the most perfect example of this team.
Yes, no question about it. You are 100% right. This team, I still don't think Rocco, even though his bullpen sucks, I still don't think he handles it properly. That bullpen is terrible.
Well, what about the decision he made 2 or 3 days?
Yeah,
the
terrible.
early hook.
Yeah, terrible idea. Look, they're still leading the division. They're going to make the playoffs. I don't know how long they're going to be in the playoffs, unfortunately, but
probably 2 games.
You think 2 games will do
2
it?
Or 3. I mean,
maybe.
Done.
Well, 2 is a sweep, so two gets us to 20 consecutive playoff defeats.
Yeah.
So, if you really want to shoot for the stars and the moon, you shoot for 2 games, and then you're swept out and you're at 20.
But the funny thing is, they actually do have 2 pretty damn good starting pitchers.
They do. Well, more than 2. They got some good starting pitchers.
Well, right now I'd say 2 are really solid.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if Ryan's ever going to be the same.
I don't
he
know.
Might, but we just don't know.
It's so upsetting. And the strikeouts. They strike out like 17 times a game.
More than any other team.
Yeah.
They're going to shatter the record. They're going to shatter. I think it was the Cubs in like 2018 set the single season record. They're going to shatter that.
And they're doing it without Sano.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
And Buxton now, because Buxton's been out for a while now, and he's a strikeout king too.
Oh yeah.
But that's one thing about the whole analytics world I don't understand. A strikeout is no big deal world. Well, okay. When the Brewers had the big inning against Floro a couple of days ago, right? What did they do? They put the ball in play. They didn't hit the ball especially hard at all. They just put the ball in play, and a couple times the Twins screwed. Yeah, soft contact. But the Twins screwed up, which is what that's why you want the ball in play. This whole notion that strikeouts they're just an out. No, they're not. They're uncompetitive. because you're not giving anyone a chance to, from your opponent's side to screw up to get you on base.
Yeah, I never understood that. When I talked about the fact that they had two very good starting pitchers, I forgot about Keuchel. So 3, let's make it 3. Could you see that gem he pitched the other night?
I can't get over his name, Mike. I can't.
I can't either. I hate to say it.
Keuchel.
Yeah, I know it's just obscene.
Yiddish for circle.
Yeah, but it's
not used in a good way.
Connotation is not. Yeah.
Well, again, it was if you were Christian, you put an X down, which was a cross actually, but they put an X.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were a Jew, you'd had to put a circle or a keikel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Keuchel was shortened to another word that rhymes with trike.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, every time they say, and now coming in to pitch, Keuchel, I'm like, oh,
well, and awful. And the other thing is just so awful that, it's another reason I don't like to hear the word.
I understand.
But he pitched a gem, and all it took was the worst umpire in the history of baseball. No, seriously, Laz Diaz is the worst umpire, certainly of this generation.
Angel Hernandez is actually as bad or worse.
Well,
that's the incredible thing.
A lot of people, that's the debate. Which one is worse? But the analytics show that Angel Diaz is the worst. But I admit it's very close. But he expanded the strike zone by at least a foot.
He did.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
horizontally,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, 6 inches on either side.
Yeah.
That was a strike.
It kind of adds up.
Oh, it definitely added up,
think?
No question.
What I love, though, and we've talked about this as well, what I love is all of these guys who watch these pitches, they're called strikes. Like, this guy sucks, right? They're called strikes, and these guys look back at the ump like, how could you call that a strike? He's terrible. Go up there swinging.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
They want to hold these umpires accountable like, you called look, I can go in and prove that you were wrong. Well, your ass is on the bench, you moron.
Well,
swing at the ball.
But these guys are programmed to not offer against a pitch that's 6 inches on either side. It's not. They're like computer programs. So how do you rewire these guys to swing at that stuff? That's why we're gonna have the robo umpire.
Yeah, but until we do, my philosophy would be never assume, and if it's close, just foul it off. Like these guys can foul pitches off. They're that good.
Oh yeah.
It's not like an accident. So I would say this: Laz Diaz sucks. He's behind the plate today. What I want you to do is go up there and swing, and if you have to, foul a close pitch off, because if you don't, you're going to be called out on strikes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's that much to ask.
Yeah, well, a guy like Luis Arias, he can, a 12-pitch at bat is nothing unusual for him, which might be one reason why he's hitting, 350 now?
In Miami?
Yeah, in Miami.
Yep.
In Miami.
Well, he's in his classic second part of the season slump now.
Is he now?
Oh, he went from 400 to 350. He'll wind up at 335.
Which is still pretty good.
But I'll tell you, though, the trade looks a lot better today, for the Twins than it did a couple months ago.
Yes. Pablo's good.
Yeah, he is.
He's a good pitcher. He's a legit. I think that while Sonny Gray is also good, to me, it's not a debate. Game 1 of the playoffs, Pablo starts. And then Sonny Gray, I start game 2.
Oh, I agree. And Pablo's got a little more heat, too.
Yes.
Can I ask you guys a question? I have never, ever seen a center fielder like Taylor did last night overrun a one-hop base hit and turn it into a double. He overran it. The ball went behind him.
He's done it twice this year. And what's incredible is, what's nuts about it is he's ordinarily really good.
Yeah.
So but do you know what that play is? And I've seen it twice now. I think he did it once here, and then we obviously saw it in Milwaukee yesterday. That is quintessential Willie Norwood. In fact, I almost teared up. Do you remember the ball opening day? Was it opening day 79, Mike, against the Angels?
That sounds right.
And he overran, and it's the same thing. Willie comes trucking in to pick up the ball, and it goes right by him.
Willie was the only guy on the team when I covered the Twins that I never, ever made fun of.
No, you never made fun of Willie Norwood?
Why would you? Right?
That's true.
No, you got 24 other guys, who you can make fun of. But the guy who just can't help himself, who's totally hapless, why would you make fun of him?
Who's the guy again? His name was it not Felton? What the hell was his name? The
Terry
outfielder.
Terry Felton?
No.
The pitcher?
Jerry Felton was.
He was an outfielder.
Didn't Terry Felton lose 20 games or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not who I'm talking about. It's a different guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he was a twin. He was an outfielder. Wasn't great. And I go into the Byerly's over in North Minneapolis.
Oh, Hoskin Powell.
There you go. Very good.
Hoskin Powell, yeah.
It was Hoskin Powell, and I'm going to use these as. I know these are wristbands, but in this case, this is a cantaloupe. Okay, I walk into Byerly's. There's Hoskin Powell staring at a cantaloupe, and literally the 10 minutes I was in there, he never moved. He just stared at a cantaloupe. I'm like, what the hell? You think he was that high?
I think he was having a fruit-inspired epiphany.
Is that what that was? A fruit-inspired epiphany.
One of my favorite moments in the Twins locker room was after a game. Paul Thormisgaard, you remember him, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So Paul Thormisgaard was pitching, and he was not real intelligent, but he was okay. I mean, he was just a normal guy. And but he was after the game. He pitched. I don't know. He pitched 5 or 6 innings, and after the game, he's in the clubhouse and he's watching a video of himself, right?
Yeah.
And he's really getting into it. And I'm thinking, well, this is pretty cool. He wants to know like if he made any terrible mistakes, were his mechanics wrong.
Sure.
And he just sat there and he was really into it. And I said something like, I don't think I actually said anything at all. I just watched him. And then he turned to me and said, I just can't decide whether to part my hair on the left or the right.
Okay. Well, did he ever make a decision?
I think I forgot to notice.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, I think he was the only one who cared. But
you don't see the guys that part their hair down the middle much anymore.
No, just not unless they're inspired by Robert McNamara.
Yeah, well, that's probably true.
But that's a real '90s thing.
Yeah, it was a '90s thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was all Kurt Cobain.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call. Honest to God, another guy. So if you part your hair down the middle, is there every chance you're going to shoot yourself in the face with a rifle?
I mean,
I'm looking at Nate's hair. I don't think he had that problem.
In middle school, I had that haircut.
Did you really?
Really?
I did.
I had the MTV skateboarder parted down the middle, undercut.
Yeah.
I parted my hair down the middle in like 1967.
It's all cyclical.
It is. It absolutely is.
All the 60s, yeah.
Yeah, because for men and women, so there was a whole thing that came out about a year ago that Gen Z said that if you do a side part, that is a millennial thing to try to make it look like you have more hair.
Oh,
and
really?
So all of a sudden, all of us millennials were like, no, we're not old. Down the middle.
You got some hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Side.
All right, Judd, you got to go at 38.
Yes. Although I can stick for a couple more if you want to talk about my 1980s attempt at a perm, which was maybe one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life.
Oh God!
Oh,
tell us.
I can't think of anything I'd love more.
Yes.
It was.
There you go.
It's still traumatic to this day, but my stylist was a very nice young gal. She was probably about 22 or 3. I was in like 9th grade, so I thought she was cute. She's like, we should style your hair. We should give you a perm. I tried to burn all pictures of this, of course. It's awful.
Yeah. Judd, 3rd grade, I had a perm. My step-grandmother gave me a perm. And they did it because for whatever reason, I was watching. You guys remember that show, Life Goes On? With Corky Thatcher, remember?
Yes.
They had there was a whole thing on ABC.
Was the song.
Yep. And there was a guy on there, and he was the super cool jock guy. He was the quarterback. But he had a perm, and he would like slick back the sides, and he had like the mullety perm. And I'm like, that's the haircut I want. So they permed my hair. It did not turn out like the super cool guy from Life Goes On. My 3rd grade picture just a fat, young version of me with a poofy-ass haircut and a Zubas t-shirt that said, "Dare to be different."
Dare to be different, baby. Absolutely.
Okay, but like that's no joke. Perming people with that short of hair is actually really hard.
Yeah.
So like they work their like fingers off to make you guys look really bad.
It's awful.
My hair was longer at the time, so it wasn't like it was super short, but like I was not put on earth with the intention of ever having a perm. So I violated something, and it was like, oh my God, it was just terrible.
The Johnny
Absolutely
Cash
awful.
song, God's Gonna Strike You Down.
Yeah, God's going to strike you down.
Yeah. I deserved it at that point. I'm going to tell you that, Nate. I deserved it.
There's a
I got
man
talked
going
into a
around
perm
taking
once.
names. Sorry.
I feel
no.
like for you though, I feel like women, in my opinion, have more abilities with their hair though, where it might be bad, but I don't know. I mean, this was really bad.
Like this wasn't great, but here's the thing that guys can do. Like if you have a perm, give it a month, you can shave your hair, do a buzz. If you're a woman with a perm, you gotta let that grow out because that's not. So then you at some point, I just looked like a poodle where I had like straight hair perm.
Poodle
Until
look.
it finally growed out enough where I could cut it. So not great.
All right, full disclosure, I've never told this story before. I met this young woman and asked her out on a date. She said, yeah, okay, next week sounds good. So I figured I'd, become more contemporary to the times. I showed up at her house with a mullet. I actually had a mullet.
Wow.
And I was wearing a full-length fur coat.
Oh my
That's awesome. She probably thought you were going to try to turn her out.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Here's the great part of it. I'm walking up the sidewalk, and I can see the curtain move a little bit. And I knock on the door. This older woman answers, and I said, is so-and-so? Oh, no, she's not home right now.
Oh, man.
I feel so bad.
I ain't going anywhere with that hunyuk, I can guarantee you.
Tom
that.
Barnard stars as the trailer park pimp.
Exactly. I must have looked like a trailer park pimp. You're right.
Were you borrowing the coat or did you buy it?
I
And if
bought
you
the
bought
coat.
it, how much was it? You have to tell me.
I don't remember. It was not cheap.
Did you get it at the arcade?
I might have got it at the arcade. You might be right about that. I used to love going to the
Oh,
arcade.
sure. It was great.
No question
You could
about
buy
it.
fur coats at the arcade.
Back in the day. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I got to run, guys, but that is a great story. I can only picture you in that coat.
In a mullet and a fur coat.
Oh, my God.
It was
just fantastic.
and
See
she
y'all
was-
later.
Oh, she's not here right now. All right, see you later, Judd.
You know, the
Talk to you
thing
Tuesday.
is, what you do with your hair can define your whole life.
I yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
My oldest son, he and a buddy of his, when they were like, I think he was probably 13 at the time, maybe 14 at the most, but I think he was 13. And he and his friend decided they were going to be cool, and they were going to dye their hair pink, right?
No, sure.
You know, it was, like, you can understand the aspiration. And so he said to me, can you give me a ride to Target? He didn't really tell me why, but I found out quickly. It's what the heck, you're not going to tell your kid, you're grounded if you do that. Let them figure it out. So they went there, and it didn't take at all.
No.
So
teachable moment.
So the next
Yeah,
the
there
next
you go.
week he said, "Can you give me a ride to Target?" I said, "Sure." I said, "What are you looking for?" He said, "Well, I'm looking for a little box that I can put some reference cards in, a little index thing,
Sure.
I said, "How come?" He said, "Well, since we couldn't turn our hair pink, I decided to join the debate team."
Point A, point B.
He might never have gone to NYU Law School if it hadn't been for
See?
that. So, not that he did anything with the law school degree, but it was fun for him.
I thought after I told that mullet the fur coat story, I thought at least one of you would have said, "Let me tell you the story of another loser." I thought for sure I was going to get that. There's no doubt about it.
Well, we're all losers in the end.
Well,
Look
in
at it
this
that way.
business, there's no question. Take a very quick break, come back. Nate, we're going to turn it over to you to try to draw attention to something important, like humor.
Can't wait.
Right, exactly.
I'm ready.
Tom Barnard for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. That'll be great. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you, and that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during the 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure with throttle therapy begins.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have two paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit lifesource.org. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Nate Abshire in studio with us this weekend at Laugh Camp Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock. camp-bar.net for tickets. Again, this week, Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock. Nate Abshire in studio. So now we're going to find out what you think of this whole thing, going from the Twins all the way back.
Oh, you want a review of the podcast?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. There's no question about it.
It's been a lot of fun. A couple of things when we were talking, you guys were talking about the strike zone getting larger. My cat does that in bed, where he takes up a normal amount of space.
Yep.
But then very slowly, it's way more. I need a bigger bed because he's impossible.
Yeah.
I understand that.
It won't work anyway, though.
Right.
No matter how big the bed is, the cat will sprawl, and you will be discomforted.
I think that's the point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about it being a woman, but I figured I'd be honest with your listeners.
Yeah, what the hell. Yeah. It was a female cat that was close enough. Yeah. What the hell.
What's your cat's name?
My cat's name is Newt.
Oh, cute.
How are we spelling that?
N-E-W-T.
Oh, okay. So, in other words, you're a big Newt Gingrich fan.
Actually, I have gotten that one. It's actually, he's named after the orphan in the movie Aliens.
Newt.
Oh.
The character that has the line, they mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Oh, sure.
What was the cartoon that was Newt? There was a cartoon.
Oh,
and the guy,
Johnny Neutron. Is that what you're thinking of?
his name was N-E-W-T. It was Newt. I know that.
Oh yeah, there was I feel like was it a mouse or a rat?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Let me
Absolutely.
look it up. Yeah.
I cannot remember the name of the cartoon, but yeah, Newt was a big cartoon character.
He showed up in like a rainstorm on the front door. And
really?
And that movie was on that night, and so I was like, oh, well, he's like an orphan trying to, get away from the monsters or whatever.
And he picked you, after all.
Well, he just wanted to be inside.
I understand.
I don't care who's in there. I just want to be indoors.
Well, that's the thing about cats. Like I had a cat who was never more than about 6 feet away from me. Wonderful cat.
Oh, yeah.
Her whole life was dedicated to me, and I might add it was the other way around too, unfortunately. And but every now and then I had to stop and think, it could have been anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just me, but it doesn't really matter.
Right. Yeah, dogs you get on purpose. Cats show up and then they tell you that they're going to live in the house. That's basically how that works.
And even when you get one of the Humane Society, it's still the same thing. They're picking you there.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. No, we currently have a foster cat in our basement, and it's half the reason I couldn't broadcast in the basement today, because that cat was like, oh, no, I love cords. I would remove everyone from your computer. I was like, this isn't... But, this cat's growing on me so hardcore, I don't know what to do.
What's the cat's name again?
Well, originally Toby, that was the name it got 2 weeks ago when they got it off the street. But Go-Go follows him around and goes ticka-ticka, like tickle-tickle.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might have to name him either Tika or Tika, because she goes tika, 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 tika.
Oh, that's so cute.
So Nate, we're expecting, when we talked about you sort of giving us a review, we're expecting 5 stars and a $5 tip.
Oh yeah. I've already given you guys the stars on Yelp. I don't know what other apps you guys.
Yelp, very important.
Use. Yeah, the Yelp reviews, Google reviews. It's everyone now. By the way, a few years ago I had a lawyer. There's a lawyer review site. He was like, I hope you could give me 5 stars.
Oh my God!
And I was like, I mean.
The saddest thing is that doctors do it now, too.
Well, it's not even that he didn't do a good job. It's just that it's sad that that's what it is now,
And pretty soon you'll be asked to tip your lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I gotta put up my little clips, and then at the end you gotta be like and subscribe.
Negative. A little, yeah. Now we have a dog. We used to have dogs. Well, out on the farm, we had lots of cats. When you live on a farm, you got to have cats. There's no doubt about that.
You always liked cats.
Oh, yeah, we've always liked cats, no doubt about it.
He doesn't want me to say this, but he used to be called the Cat Man.
Cat Man.
Early days in radio.
Cat Man on the radio. And I actually did have Wolfman Jack when I was at 1500 KSTP AM, Cat Man on the radio. Wolfman Jack opened the door and went, Cat Man. You're stealing my act, but that's all right.
That is pretty damn good.
And then he died about 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
But,
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Yes.
That is amazing, Tom, that happened. And if he was in character, he should have just ran at you really fast in general, just like cat.
I don't think he was in character. I think that was really him.
And the worst thing,
I really do.
The worst thing about those days is that there was at least one really smarmy journalist who mocked you for your Catman likeness.
Oh, I know.
I don't know who it was, but...
His name was Mike something.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Mike Gelfand.
I don't know what happened to him.
Mike Gleeflin.
That hack.
Yeah, that hack. That son
No
of
one's heard from him in years.
No.
I will never forget the first time I was ever interviewed by Mr. Gelfand. It was over 40 years ago. I know that. He shows up at my house, and I'm watching the Twins game. And I was a much younger man, so I put up all my bobblehead Twins, and every time they come to bat, I would bobble their head to make sure they hit a home run. And you looked at me like, what in the hell is with this guy?
No, it was, I thought there was something deeply wrong.
Because there was.
But now, I got bobbleheads now.
And, you do?
Well, I have quite a few, but the only bobblehead that I do that with is my Anna Nicole Smith bobblehead.
Oh, wonder why you do that.
I don't know. It's you could call it a metaphor of sorts.
Boy, honestly, I do remember when you did walk in the studio one day years and years ago and predicted that she would not live much longer. I remember you remember doing that?
Yeah, and I'm really sad that it was true.
It was true. You pretty much nailed it.
I was a big fan.
Oh, I know you were.
Yeah, you gotta watch it with predictions like that. You're gonna get brought in for questioning.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's true. And I always thought, like with some of the relationships I had, if something had happened to them horrible and they died, I mean, I'm not talking about any specific relationship.
Sure.
Yeah, right. And but I would just picked up my toothbrush and reported to prison.
May as well.
There would be no need for a trial.
Why not? Why not? Brittany, look at that. Oh, you look all comfortable and rested.
Thank you. I was thinking too in my head just now. I was like, Gelfand, it's probably why you should, like, if you know, and if any of your enemies are sick, and this is for you, Tom, just buy gum every 5 minutes, so at least you have an alibi. Like,
yeah, on a credit card.
Yeah, like that might be your best course of action. When
you're
you
right.
know that some of your enemies are getting older.
Spend the whole day swiping.
Yeah. Yep. Every 20 minutes, just stop somewhere and maybe find a Ring camera, like a doorbell. Just ring it. Why not? Get your camp face on that too.
I think we have those now. I think Catherine put those on our house. I don't know anything about it, but
they're great. Not if you have dogs. Like we had a Ring
we do.
camera. Well, yeah, but our dog, we have invisible fence in dogs, and so like our dogs constantly would set it off, and it was like constantly my phone would vibrate. It's like, oh, there's Murphy just sitting there, like not super helpful in a cul-de-sac, but
it'll happen. Got a lot of dogs in my neighborhood too. They all wander around. It's
Does
wonderful.
Jude get along with all of them?
Oh yeah, Jude gets along with everybody. As long as you feed him.
Yeah.
As long as you feed him, he'd be okay.
That's the secret.
It is. You know, I was just thinking of something like that. Remember I told you about that new Jennifer Lawrence movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know why I thought of this thing about Gelfand, but there's a scene where this guy comes to tow her car away because she hasn't paid for. They're gonna kick her out of her house. They're gonna take her house back, right? So he comes to get her car first, and she apparently used to date this guy who's driving the tow truck.
Oh my God.
And she goes, "Come on, you don't take my car. I need my car to go to work. And why don't we should maybe go out. We used to date. Maybe we go out to dinner." And as she's saying it, this guy wearing just very, very small briefs comes out. He's an Italian guy, and he's like doing, and the guy's looking like Jesus because he just came out of her house, right?
Sure.
She's like, "Don't worry about that. It's my cousin. I mean, yeah, don't worry about a thing. That's got nothing to do with anything." And as she's talking, the guy comes over and right behind her, and she goes, "Yeah, he's my don't worry about it. He's my cousin." As she's saying, he hooks his hands under her arms and cups both her breasts, and she says,
my God.
"Well, he's my second cousin," which I thought was a great line. You should watch that movie. It's not a great movie, but it's damn good. It's called
Whatever It Takes. Was that?
Is it whatever? No, is it something about don't? What the hell is it? The new movie that she's in, Jennifer Lawrence. She wrote it, produced it, the whole deal. But I can't remember the name. No, something about feelings or something. No hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
It's no hard feelings. That's exactly what it is.
I read books, and halfway through, I think, I wonder what the title of this book is.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Especially with your Kindle, because you don't see it over and
Well,
over.
right, that's the whole thing. You're exactly right.
Yeah, since I read on my Kindle, people will be like, "What are you reading?" I'm like, "I have to look."
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence had talked about how she was during is it American Hustle? American Hustle.
Yeah.
She's doing a movie with like the biggest movie stars on the planet, Bradley Cooper, and Louis C.K. is in this movie. Just the list goes on and on and on. And she's talking about being on set and they're getting all the scenes set up, and Bradley Cooper is like in his head, and he's got his eyes closed, and he's thinking about the lines. He's getting into character, and she's looking over, and she's seeing all these like professionals, and Jennifer's just like tweeting.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out. And the director's like, "Okay, you ready to go?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm ready to go." Yeah. And he goes, "Well, this is your close-up where you need to cry." And she's like, "Oh, okay, just tell me when."
Yeah, I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, and then just like puts the phone in the pocket, and they're like, "Action!" And then she just breaks into it, and then tears start flowing, and she knocks it out of the park, and then they'll cut, and then she's like, "Okay, we good? Like, I got a dinner at like 5:30. I got to get to," and they're like, "Yeah, okay."
She is so good in American Hustle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She has that monologue about how she's got this nail polish that's like from France that kind of has like a rotten smell, and like she's doing it to this other woman who's secretly with her husband. She's so, and you can tell, just naturally good.
Yeah, there's another thing about that movie that people may not have seen, but there's a bit that Louis C.K. does about how if you are ever on Inside the Actors Studio and you are asking a famous actor questions about acting, you will never be a famous actor. Smash cut to Bradley Cooper sitting in the audience going, Mr. Sean Penn, my name is Brad, and I'm an acting student at NYU. Smash cut to Bradley Cooper in American Hustle, grabbing Louis C.K. by the moobs and like humping him on the couch. It's such a like great comeuppance.
Did Louis C.K. said, "Not now, I'm masturbating"?
Yeah, right.
There was a potted plant in the room, so.
Is he just gone now?
Oh no, he's selling out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, he's
really?
back,
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen his name pop up in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's a weird son of a bitch.
He's like a politician, you know. When they get caught doing something like that, they take a couple weeks off, see a therapist.
That's good enough.
And back, yeah.
I suppose that's true. Ladies and gentlemen, Nate Abshire been in studio. Nate, thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
having you in, no
So
question.
fun.
This weekend at Laugh Camp Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock, camp-bar.net for tickets. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, everybody. Brittany, how do you like the new studio?
I love it. Great bathrooms here. Great coffee as well.
Long drive home.
Long drive home. I love you all. It was so fun hanging out.
Talk to you later. Thanks.